This is Fallout 4, but it's probably not how you remember it. In this video, we're not the sole survivor of Vault 111. Our story is very different. You see this gentleman right here? His name is Timmy Sins, the evil, not so friendly Raider of the Commonwealth. I have 100 days to become the Raider Overboss and take over the entire Commonwealth with my gang of raiders, turning once peaceful settlements into degenerate playgrounds for my people. Which means to start this off, I need to try and find a way to get into this place, Nuka World, and become the leader of all the gangs here. Now, I have lightly modded this playthrough just to aid us in our mission. And yes, we are playing in survival mode. Can we become the most evil person in the Commonwealth? Can we take over settlements and just be a degenerate raider? Well, let's find out. Welcome to my 100 days in Fallout 4 as the Raider Overboss. Welcome homies and homettes to this Fallout 4 adventure. We wake up in the middle of a radiation storm next to a table with some dirty water and purified water. And since this is survival, being adequately hydrated is very important. I then discover that we spawned right next to this vault entrance. To get out of this storm, I entered the vault to explore and see if there was some loot that we could claim for our own. Once entering Vault 111, we ran into these oversized rad roaches the size of the average domesticated pet. And the only weapons I had was my hopes and dreams and these fists. Next, I entered this electrified room and fisted another one of these rad roaches, only to find a deceased vault dweller. I believe this could have been us in a different life. That vault dweller was holding an audio log on him. Listening to it, we heard some rather disturbing noises. There was a baby crying that we discovered later on got kidnapped. But we're a badass raider and not Dr. Disrespect, so we don't care. I was more excited about finding this gun and some stim packs. Now we could pew these rad roaches in the face. I then exited the vault satisfied with all the loot that I had gotten, then made our way down this little path into a suburban area they call Sanctuary. We reached level 2, bro. We also leveled up, so that's good, I guess. I then encountered this floating octopus looking machine. Apparently they call it Codsworth.
Oh, it's really you.
Who are you supposed to be?
Are you well, sir?
Codsworth is rather confused on who we are exactly.
I think you've mistaken me for someone else.
Anyways, for a floating tin can, he's quite the yapper. I also discovered he could actually say my name.
Codsworth.
Mr. Timmy?
Hey, he said my name. We then went into these houses to go and destroy some of these overgrown flies.
Mr. Timmy? The missus and young Sean? They aren't here.
He seems really concerned about these random people that I don't know. Anyways, I pick up the remains of these bloat flies and take anything else that I could find. I then head to this root cellar behind this house and enter it, as there's a few goodies behind here that I can take. Next, I venture out further past Sanctuary, just exploring the local area. We managed to stumble across some unfortunate fishermen, and then I encountered a random person shooting stuff. I wasn't too sure if he was friendly, so I approached him and then noticed his name was red, so I shot him. Once I defeated him, I took most of the stuff off of his body and took all the stuff that was around him. He's not going to need it anymore. After a little exploration, we returned back to Sanctuary, went up to the workshop, and unlocked it. From here, I just started scrapping everything around the area. My goal here was just to get enough resources so I could start placing down some basic items. I kind of got a little bit carried away scrapping stuff, but it was kind of fun and like kind of therapeutic. But once it was done, I got to place down these beds. Now I have a place to save. I also placed down this sink, so now we have a place to get some purified fresh water. Before this day ends, I scrapped a few more pieces around this place, then went to the local cooking pot and started cooking up some food. Just some of the grilled rad roaches that we had gotten and some mutt chops. Delicious. Now, although rad roach meat might sound like it tastes amazing, I have a much better option for you. Yes, you, the person watching this video. Thanks to my friends at Factor 75, you can easily and quickly get your hands on chef-designed meals now. And if you're like me and the stress of meal planning and prepping is a little bit overwhelming, Factor 75 takes over this stress and makes life easy. No more rushing to the grocery store and buying way more ingredients than you need to, or worse, forgetting something. They give you roughly 35 options of meals to choose from week to week. Factor meals are always fresh, they're never frozen, so you don't get that weird watery taste after you microwave your food. They are dietitian approved and are ready to eat in under 2 minutes, which means more time for us to conquer the Commonwealth and less time chopping onions. Guys, listen. Your support helps this channel grow and helps me make these movie-length videos. So do me a favor. Heck, do yourself a favor, click my link in the description below. Get a subscription to Factor 75, or there'll be a QR code somewhere there. But I'm not leaving you guys hanging. You will receive 50% off your first order, and you even get free shipping. Honestly, guys, it's a no-brainer. This will save you time, it's convenient and quick, tasty meals, and you help support our channel. Thank you, Factor 75, for sponsoring this video. With our stomach full from this Factor 75 meals, it's time to have a nice long sleep in our brand new bed. We have now survived until day 2. We are the kings of this game. No, not really. We just didn't do anything notable on day 1. Also, I've added the time to the top left here. This just helps me keep track of the days while I'm editing this video. And now today, I think it's best we head on out and do some exploring. Firstly, heading on south to go and visit this red rocket where we come across this dog. Of course, we greet this cute little puppy and he becomes our companion. We then travel on down the road and encounter these overgrown mosquitoes. I began shooting at them, but my aim is terrible and these guys are quite deadly. I tried using VATS to shoot them, but ultimately it wasn't enough. I'm dead, bro. After getting destroyed by those mosquitoes, we're quickly reminded that this is hardcore survival mode. So we repeat these steps once again. We go and visit the dog, but instead of following the road down near the mosquitoes, we go up along this ridge right here, where we find some loot, and I pick these trees for their mutt fruit. After wandering around for a little while, we stumbled across this little parking lot, I believe it is, and as I got further in, we triggered this landmine. Oh shit. Saw that too late. Here we found a very unfortunate settler and a little bit of random goodies. But most importantly, we found a mattress lying on the ground, which means we can sleep and also save the game. I noticed that there was a town right nearby. So of course, I went up there to check it out. I started hearing some explosions, so of course that piqued my interest even further. Once I arrived, I saw some raiders, so I started shooting them. My dog started gnawing on his arm, so that helped us destroy him. Moving further on into this town they call Concord, we activated some quests randomly, which would lead us up to this dead cowboy where I'd take his laser musket and then enter on into the building. In here, we had to clear out a whole bunch of raiders. Thankfully, they dropped a bit of equipment that we could use, specifically bullets for our gun and some raider armor that we could use to help defend ourselves. I made my way through here taking out all of the raiders and even sneaking up behind some of them. Yep, should have left. Sometimes being sneaky didn't really work. Oh. And I'd get jump scared. Thankfully, our dog was pretty helpful in taking this guy out. We then made it into this room where we found a group of people that weren't shooting at us, so I wasn't going to shoot at them. Apparently, this guy's name is Preston Garvey, and this Elvis impersonator, well, his name is Sturgis. He tells us that we need to head to the roof so we can get ourselves some power armor.
Stay safe. Maybe at least one of us will survive this.
Ominous words coming from progressive Indiana Jones. Anyways, getting to the roof wasn't quite simple. We had to go down to the bottom floor, hack this terminal so that we could get this fusion core out of this, I don't know, generator I think it is. Then we made it up to the roof where the power armor was just waiting for us. We placed the fusion core inside of it and connected to this vertibird was this vertibird minigun. As soon as I picked up the minigun though, we started getting shot at by these annoying raiders. I didn't want to use the minigun straight away because I wanted to save it for something that I knew that was coming. We're playing in survival difficulty, so ammo is quite rare. Well, at least at this point of the game. So instead I took out all of these enemies with this laser musket, and that's when this Deathclaw appeared and I had to whip out the minigun. Lordy. I really didn't want to repeat this mission, so I had to kill this guy. Things started getting quite hairy really quickly. No. Somehow, we defeated the Deathclaw, but there was still a couple stragglers around, so we had to deal with them quickly. Finally, after all of that chaos, we went back in to go and see Preston Garvey, and he was rather impressed by our accomplishments.
I'm just glad you're on our side.
He started glazing me a little bit, so I had to sort him out real quick.
Stop kidding yourself. You're nothing to me.
You know, you talk like a jerk, but you still helped us out.
As I was talking to Preston Garvey, this crackhead grandma decided she wanted to talk to me.
Before you leave, kid.
She's a weird hippie type that thinks she has visions if she takes certain drugs. She kind of looks like Professor McGonagall if she was like a hippie or something. Anyways, our time was done here, so it was time to head back to Sanctuary. Personally, I don't really like playing with power armor, but I did want to keep it around. So I dropped this back off at Sanctuary and then stored a bunch of loot that we had collected in the workshop. Now that we completed that mission with Preston Garvey, we now have people living in this settlement, which is kind of something that I wanted to do. Even though we're playing as a raider, we need to set some things up so everything works out to plan in the end. We want to take over the entire Commonwealth. Well, first, we need to get the place populated, and all the settlements need certain things for them to thrive, like defenses, water, food, etc., all that kind of stuff. Of course, I was feeling kind of thirsty too, and a little bit tired. So it was time to end this day. Day 3, and it's time for us to cross this bridge once again. This time we encounter a bunch of large flies, which don't seem to go down by my shotgun. My aim really sucks. You'll see this throughout the video. So I'm glad that there's this VATS system. Surviving a couple flies, we move on and approach Abernathy Farm. I then meet the man himself, Blake Abernathy. He was trying to tell me about his farm here, and he wasn't too impressed with what I had to say.
You call this a farm? It's pathetic.
Yano, I think you best be moving on.
His wife was a lot better looking anyway, so we went to speak to her and she was down to trade. I was kind of broke at the time and had nothing to offer, so she was like, be on your way, peasant. You know what I found to be quite the pest in this game? These goddamn feral ghouls. They're so damn quick and this shotgun isn't very effective against them. Knew it. In this game, you run into a whole bunch of different encounters and have to choose whether it's a good idea to fight or not. At this very moment, it seemed like a good time to fight. This person looked like they were in trouble. My leg was crippled basically immediately, and this lovely Angie here sent me straight back to my last save point. Survival difficulty ain't no joke. I figured to give ourselves the best chance possible, I upgraded some of my guns. There wasn't many options that I had now because I don't have the right perks to be able to upgrade them completely, but I did all that I could do, turning this pistol into an automatic pistol, and adding a hardened receiver to my shotgun to add some more damage to it. I also upgraded pieces of my armor as well to help with our defense. We found ourselves back at this parking lot, but we entered through a different direction and found a random man sleeping in this mattress. Apparently some sort of Walter White wannabe. And of course, I couldn't have anybody like this on my turf. Because we had died a few times this day, I made sure to save because we had the opportunity to. Next, I stumbled into this abandoned drive-in where I had to clear out a bunch of rad roaches and rats that kind of resemble the skin on your elbow or other places, if you get what I mean. Nothing bats couldn't handle. I then channeled my inner ghetto upbringing by lockpicking this door and breaking in, where we discovered this workshop. So of course, I went out here and started scrapping everything until we stepped into a place that we probably shouldn't have. Luckily, we saved kind of close by, so we could return to this drive-in and repeat this process all over again. This time, obviously avoiding this spot and entering other places that I think are safe. Oh, but there's meat. Oh, machete, you good? Got ourselves a machete. That's going to be handy. Picked the lock to another room where we scored a bunch of extra decent loot like this fusion core and Nuka-Cola Quantum. Before leaving, we made sure to rest in this bed that we had found, then continued on our journey in this Fallout 4 adventure. If you're wondering what exactly are we doing right now, we have no missions, we have no goals. Well, basically, I'm just trying to map out the wastelands, as well as try and loot a bunch of stuff so we can upgrade our gear and gain a bunch of experience so we can unlock these perks that will help us achieve our goal of becoming the ultimate Raider Overboss. And fighting hostile enemies seems to be the best way to be able to do that. Surviving is kind of the hard part. That's why in every encounter, I make sure to be extremely patient and choose the best times to shoot things. Raiders seem to be the best because they always seem to have a bunch of ammo on them and some decent armor and weapons. Once we had filled up our inventory, we returned back to Sanctuary, deposited all of our stuff, and rested again for the night. Day 4, and we accidentally stumble into a pack of feral ghouls. I wasn't extremely confident in fighting these guys, so I made a quick run for it. I saw a person in the distance and was hoping that they would help me fight these ghouls. I ran past this person, turned around, and saw that she was shooting them. Thankfully, we got the experience for it as well. This is Trash Can Carla. She's like a wandering trader type lady. I had a sneaking suspicion that she had some stuff on her, so I decided to threaten her.
Your money. All of it. Now.
This ain't my first mugging. Why don't you run along?
She's one tough lady, so she wasn't easily persuaded. When we thought we were just chilling out here all by ourselves, a random guy in a suit came up to me. Says he has some sort of job for me.
What's the job?
You gotta get the details from Bobby. You know, Bobby No-Nose and Good Neighbor.
Bobby No-Nose.
I don't know nothing.
What a name. To prove that this little area is kind of crazy, we approached this diner where there was 2 people trying to rob it. They pointed their guns at me, and I wasn't too sure exactly what to do in this position. I just tried to persuade them by telling them to lower their guns. Somehow that worked. So I figured I'd take it a step further and demand their money. After all, we're the big bad raider. I guess they were fighting words. Miss Simone here and Wolfgang, they had to go down. I wasn't the only person shooting at these guys, so somehow I survived. Who's friend and who's foe? That guy must be a friend. I managed to find Simone hiding in this bush. What a little bitch. I turned her into a headless mannequin quite quickly. Then I returned to our friend. Tried to shoot him, but he obviously has that plot armor. I check out Pip-Boy to see exactly what we've explored, and we realized there's so much more to discover. I approached this house and got the scare of my life. Oh, that's creepy. This is giving me scary flashbacks of The Shining. That was creepy as flip. Running quite low on ammunition, I decided to whip out the machete that we had gotten earlier, which I got to use against this morning raider. He was upset that one of his friends had died, so I thought to myself, maybe he wants to be with him. Don't let him fight. Mourning his boy. Sorry, dude, but it is what it is. But that's when we met Fallout 4 Karma. Oh, what the I had saved the game earlier in that creepy girl's place, so we weren't too far away from where we were. And we got to repeat this encounter once again. This time trying out a little bit of a different strategy. I threw a Molotov at his face. Oh, he's black now. And he's got a shotgun. Oh. Hey, he did it for us. He fell into the grave with his friend. My man's a little bit 69ing. I didn't go anywhere near that railway again. I didn't want to get blown up randomly. Instead, we discovered this place. Jalbert's brother's disposal. Once again filled with these foreskin-shaped mole rats and some permanently sleeping people that claim to be the child of Adam. These guys are weird fanatics that like worship radiation. You know, sometimes you need to watch out for packs of wild mongrels. My machete is actually quite effective against their heads. Later that day, we stumbled into a more urban city-like area. This is where I ran into some super mutants and I didn't want any of that smoke, so I left. Our inventory was starting to get a little bit full and I called it for the day. It was time to fast travel back to Sanctuary, drink some nice refreshing water, and call it a night. Day 5, we woke up with a few ailments, particularly lethargy, fatigue, infection, and we were feeling a little peckish. My goal today was to fix these ailments, and the only way I really know how to do that is to head to Diamond City. So I fast traveled to the closest place possible and began making our way towards Diamond City. As we approached, we came across this. Diamond City. Holy crap. Couple dead Diamond City security guards and a massive explosion in the distance. I guess we're in the right place. I believe they lost the fight to some super mutants, but I wasn't too sure and I didn't want to stick around and find out. Instead, I took what they don't need and made my way over to the entrance to Diamond City, where we discovered a sarcastic lady named Piper. She gives me crazy ex-girlfriend vibes trying to get into this place, and the way she keeps yapping her lips and flapping her arms, I'm pretty sure I'm right. Anyway, she convinces me to try and convince them to let us in. The mayor here wasn't too impressed and seemed kind of angry, but I didn't really care. I just continued on my way. We had now made our way into Diamond City, the central hub and safe zone of the wastelands of Fallout 4. Now, the main reason I came here was to come and visit this sus doctor. You ain't looking too good. Other than the fact that you are racially perfect for it, you're a little bit dirty. For the low price of 15 caps, we got this man to cure our health, basically getting rid of our fatigue and lethargy. I also got him to cure our radiation as well. Man loves to stick needles in me. Before leaving for the day, we went and visited this grumpy trader, and I had a bunch of spare weapons that we had collected from walking over here, so I decided to sell her a bunch of stuff so I could get myself some caps. But then soon realized that she had a bunch of ammo that I could use. So in the end, after trading some stuff back and forth, I had to give her 107 caps. The morning of day 6, we finally speak to Preston Garvey after he had moved into Sanctuary. He seems pretty hopeful that he's going to be able to rebuild this place. Me, not so much.
You'll never rebuild this.
He wants my help to rebuild the Minutemen. Little does he know that's not my goal in this life.
I can't help right now. That's your call.
Speaking of missions, we start heading west so we can discover another settlement. But landmines aren't really our friend. Ooh. This is actually quite sad to watch, so I stabbed him in the neck with a stim pack. It made him feel better. Ironic, right? We now made it to the Sunshine Tidings Co-op. Honestly, one of my favorite settlements in this game. But first, we need to clear it out of all of the feral ghouls. Once we had cleared out all of the ghouls, we were able to loot this big red trunk and unlock the workshop. We were currently encumbered, so we stored all of the goods in here so we could, you know, have a little bit of extra space in our inventory. Then, of course, started scrapping everything so that I'd have enough resources to have enough of the basics to be able to help people survive here. On day 7, I learned a really harsh lesson in playing in survival mode. We speak to the people at 10 Pines Bluff and let them know that we had cleared out Sunshine Tidings Co-op. This gives us access to their workshop. I then travel through a cemetery, make my way through a junkyard infested with mole rats, meet a lovely lady wearing a pilot's hat, score a ton of really good loot, discover a little settlement called Covenant, where I have to answer a bunch of questions just so I can get let in. Then at 1:46 p.m., I cross a bridge, and then this happens. And no, I hadn't saved the game in quite a while. Welcome to survival mode. That's quite the setback. So I guess we have to relive this all over again in a different timeline. It's starting to become kind of frustrating. I'm dying a lot, over and over again. I finally get a little bit of a decent run, making sure to play this a little bit safer than I had been. Well, kind of. We do get chased down by a kamikaze super mutant, but I try my best to use VATS to explode him. Woo! Thank As we approach this building though, we started getting shot by some blue lasers, something I'm not too familiar with. These were ultra aggressive robots they called synths, but if I'm honest, they kind of look like things that lonely men keep in their closets. Either way, I destroyed them, leveled up, and looted their stuff. Typically, synth stuff is kind of light and can be sold for quite the pretty penny. I made my way into a place that seemed like a school. Kind of weird that there was this cage door on it. We went down the stairs and confirmed that this was a middle school, and there was a voice inside my head saying, "Aaron, you should go into the basement. There might be little kids in there." P. Diddy, are you here? There was no Diddy, but this also looked like it could have been a vault at some point. Instead of little kids, we found some gunners. Kind of sus to see some grown men in a middle school basement. They were pretty tough and kind of weird and creepy, so we left. They followed me all the way out, but then this happened again. Oh, shit. When we loaded back at this point, so we didn't really lose much. Not that it matters too much. I did end up getting eaten by a mutant hound. Bro, this really wasn't working out too well for me. Instead, I just fast traveled back to 10 Pines Bluff
I cleared that place out for you.
Completed that quest, then called it a day, returning back to Sanctuary to dump all of my stuff in the workshop. In the early morning of day 8, we find ourselves back in Diamond City, but there was something happening in the main square.
Don't shoot, for God's sakes, we're family!
Put the gun down now!
He's a Sith! He'll kill us all!
This scene was kind of brutal. I don't know if I can show it, so I kind of blurred it, but I'm pretty sure your imagination can fill in the gaps. Our friend Kyle here is not going to be needing any of this, so I took it. No one seemed to care. I don't really know what was happening in this very moment, but the bloodthirsty raider in me was kind of excited to see it all unfold. I came to Diamond City to see the doctor to fix my ailments once again, but it was too early in the morning for him to be open. Instead, we wandered around the local streets when we heard a lady in distress. So a trap.
She's in here! Please help!
This is definitely a trap. I was right. This place was a trap. I was prepared and I snuck up on them and ended their lives. We had started leveling up, so we were doing quite a bit of damage finally. I even started using a few of these Molotovs to help us out. Then the boss man finally showed himself. His name was Demo and he had a skull next to his name. Ooh, dangerous. Still, my skills are too good, and I ended him. He had some pretty decent armor on him as well. So I took what I could carry, checked it out to see if it was better than what I was currently wearing, and it was. I figured because this place had a named NPC, there might be some really juicy loot here. Initially, I didn't find much, but I did find this Hardware's Town storage key and a picket fences thingy.
Build a high-tech light? Oh, wow. That's great.
This steamer trunk had some okay stuff, I guess. The sniper rifle, I think, would be good, at least in this early game. As we left the building, I ran into some more raiders, but I had very little ammo on me. So I had to pull out the machete and charge in. This wasn't as effective as I had hoped. So of course, I tried this again, but this time with a sneak attack. It's not too good against Molotovs. Could we get a little bit closer this time? No. I then remembered we picked up that sniper from that chest. So I got a little bit of distance and realized I had a whole bunch of bullets. This was surely effective, except for when my dog would get in my way and the Molotovs would come. Stupid dog got in my way, bro. This time I just charged in, guns blazing, and somehow this worked. Not too far away from where we were, I noticed that there was a vault icon on my compass. I was feeling curious, so I had to go investigate. We had discovered Vault 81. Inside, we approached this control panel. I placed my Pip-Boy into it, and then someone started talking.
Hold it right there. Vault 81 security.
This vault was still active. I wanted to try and get in this place, but to get in, they wanted me to go and get them 3 fusion cores. I accepted this mission, but I didn't really feel like doing this right away, so we'll come back to it a bit later. Instead, I had a different mission on mind that I wanted to go and check out, see if it suits us in our playthrough. This might seem like a little bit of an odd one since we're becoming the Raider Overboss, but we went to go meet the Brotherhood peoples and Paladin Dance.
You guys look like you might need some help. I'm just gonna chill over here. Oh no!
Oh, my bad. I'm so sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry. That was my fault. They were getting quite wrecked from these ghouls. Of course, I could have helped, but nah. I only helped when they attacked me. Mr. Jack Tony Stark over here was quite grateful, even though he was a little bit sus of us. From here, he asked us to go on a mission with him. He said that I could take all of this free equipment first. So of course, I did. It's free. But even though he's got 2 other very capable people that he should trust, he chose me to go with him. For someone that was quite sus on me earlier, he's kind of trusting, I guess, or very stupid. For this mission, we arrived at ArcJet Systems. This place was filled with a bunch of bad guys. Well, bad robots or lonely man toys, whatever you want to call them. I think the politically correct term is synth. Ironic that these are the first enemies that we find with the Brotherhood missions, since Brotherhood kind of hate these guys. Me, I'm kind of indifferent. I like all the free loot that we get from them. Further along, I get to one of my favorite parts, letting Paladin Dance fight some people and burning him alive. Man's pretty tough. Dude's literally on fire right now.
Lucky you got that plot armor, son.
And all he's doing is the Iron Man pose.
And my man, you good?
All right? Got cooked by those flames.
Yeah, my bad. Completing some of the Brotherhood missions, I wasn't exactly sure where I was going with this. Other than the fact that I kind of wanted to have the Brotherhood come into the world while we were doing Raider stuff. That's why I decided to do some of these missions. Plus, after completing this particular mission, we get our first legendary weapon. Well, I think it's legendary. Maybe it's not. Either way, it's a pretty decent weapon. To finish this day off, I rushed over to Diamond City and sold all of our robot gear to, well, this robot. Again, I had to purchase a bunch of ammo because we're quite low on it. So we didn't earn a lot of money, but we still came out ahead. Day 9 begins with us quenching our thirst with some purified water. Then after opening the build menu, I noticed my settlement required a few things to be able to keep going. So we planted some trees for food. I then placed this scavenging station down so people can go and scavenge us some more resources, and this machine gun turret for our defenses. I placed it in the most populated area on our little settlement here. Help keep our people safe, you know? Preston Garvey then stopped me to have a chat. Again, he asked me to go speak to Sturgis, which I did. Man was just sitting on the ground. He asked me to do a bunch of things around the settlement, but I had already done most of them. So we finished this little quest line quite quickly. Sanctuary is going to be our main hub of operations, so I decided to build this place up a little bit more. My main goal is to get to Nuka World as soon as possible. But in order to get there, we have to be level 30. We've geared up enough to be able to survive somewhat safely-ish. Now we need to still discover a bunch of areas on the map, liberate some more settlements, and do whatever it takes to earn some decent experience points. But first, let's go and heal our ailments. Looking on the map, we were told to go to the combat zone. I placed a marker down there and began making my way over there. Had to deal with a pack of wild mutts on the way too. Then a bunch of rad roaches. But this time, there was a glowing one. And there was a legendary rad roach, which dropped this. Whenever you kill legendary enemies in this game, they tend to drop legendary items. This particular item wasn't that good. We made it to the combat zone. Surprisingly, it wasn't what I expected. It looks kind of like a movie theater or like a normal theater type thing. Once we entered, I guess I was kind of right. It is some sort of theater. It was full of raiders, and when I used my VATS on them, they were green, so I thought they were going to be friendly. I went a little bit further in, saw some people fighting, then some angry people started yelling at me. I guess I wasn't welcome here. That's too bad though, because I have a gun, and it's better than theirs. Even though all these raiders were enjoying the show, they're now dead. I then approached the fighting arena where we saw Donald Trump's twin and an Irish mega babe with a bit of an attitude. Mr. Trump here basically unloads her off to us. At first, she wasn't too happy about this, but if she can hold all of my extra goods and make me a sandwich, then she's pretty much stuck with us for a while. Of course, I had to deck her out with some of the best gear that I had and immediately test her out to see if she was any good as our companion. She was honestly actually pretty useless. Never there when I actually needed her. She had a bit of a mouth on her and loved to yell at the enemies a lot.
Now this is what I'm talking about.
And I suppose in some ways she was good at distracting the enemies while I'd take my shot. Clearing out little locations like this was a great way to get some easy, quick loot. And if there was a steamer trunk like this, there was always some decent ammo and sometimes a decent weapon. We're back in Sanctuary. We met a Mr. Jun Long. He suffers from severe depression. I'm pretty sure his family was brutally murdered, so I don't blame him. By the way, this lovely Irish lady's name is Kate, but spelt with a C. C-A-I-T. Kate. And she's a lot of fun to hang out with. Next, we encountered these raiders trying to charge a toll to cross this bridge. As we approached, they just opened fire. Holy! Yo, you guys are dead, bro. I'm out. Psych, I turned around and started shooting. This new gun that we had been using is actually pretty decent. You okay? You okay, dude? Good. Should have gave him the caps. I approached another settlement, Oberland Station. The settler pulled their gun out of me.
Do you always point a gun at everyone you meet?
I'm afraid I do these days.
I understand why people are a little jumpy, but right in this moment, I'm here to help.
Kick their ass.
Kind of. She wants me to head to this place, Corvega Assembly Plant. All I need to do is kill a whole bunch of raiders. And I've been having fun doing this so far, so why not? Clearing out all the raiders in this place was quite a simple task, especially with our girl Kate here. Well, kind of. She only uses this double barrel shotgun, which has really bad range, but she can be a good bullet sponge, I suppose. We then made it to the final boss. His name is Jared. Threw a Molotov in the room that he was hiding in, and that pretty much ended him. Burn, baby, burn. You are dead, sir. I then ended the lives of his lackeys, looted a bunch of stuff, and then discovered this Grognak the Barbarian comic book. What do we get? Critical hits with unarmed and melee attacks permanently do 5% more damage. Our inventory was starting to get full. Thankfully, Kate was with us and she could hold a bunch of stuff. We then exited out of this blue chain door and made our way back to Oberland Station, where we handed in this quest. They were rather happy. So happy, in fact, we got access to their workstation. I had to like convince them that the Minutemen were back or something. Anyways, I started scrapping all the stuff around this area so we could have some extra resources. Then returned back to Sanctuary so that we could brag to Preston about our grand escapades. Even though it was the early morning, we were feeling rather tired. So like a hormonal teenager, we had to sleep for most of the day. Once we woke up, it said that we were still tired. Apparently now we have insomnia. Like, who the hell needs more sleep? 10:45 p.m. I guess the day's just starting. This combat rifle that we picked up in the Wastelands is turning out to be one of my most favorite weapons. I think I'm more of a rifle type guy. I increased the damage output on it a little bit. We didn't have a lot of resources, so this is kind of all we could afford. Day 12, I returned to Paladin Dance and his friends. Paladin Dance then asked me to join the Brotherhood. At first, I said I was honored to join, but after they explained exactly how this works, I don't know if this was really for me.
You need to understand what it means to be a part of the Brotherhood. If you intend to stay within our ranks, you need to obey our tenets without question.
I never was good at following the rules.
I wasn't convinced that this was the right decision for us. We're a badass raider. We're not a soldier with a stick up its ass. Our story from here was definitely going to take a turn. I don't think what the Brotherhood stands for really suits who we are as a raider. So I think that's the last we're going to see of them. Maybe. I'd been using the light in this game and it's kind of green. I remember that there's a way to change the light, but you have to change the way that your Pip-Boy looks. So our Pip-Boy looks like this now, but then our light is clear and white. Next, we ventured around the city, unlocking new locations and taking down legendary raiders. As we've been progressing quite a bit, we'll now start seeing a lot of legendary enemies, which is good and bad. They are definitely tougher to kill, but you get legendary items from them and a lot more XP. I discovered a pit full of disgusting ghouls, so I shot at one and threw a Molotov at the rest. There was a whole bunch of different variations of ghouls here as well. As they started making their way around to us, stuff got a little bit hairy, and I was starting to run out of ammo in my favorite gun. There's a legendary one, and we're out of ammo. I got the good old righteous authority out and quickly ran out of ammo on that as well. Putrid glowing one's not going down. Searching through my inventory, there weren't many guns with any ammo. Maybe a grenade can help us out? I mean, it might have if we actually landed on target. I had my double barrel shotgun, but it isn't really good in these kind of circumstances. Come on, reload. It was at this part of the game that I changed my save settings around. I could now save anywhere in the wastelands. I didn't have to just save at a bed. I had been dying so damn much that it's been really making it hard to make this video. Oh shit, I'm dead. Fucking Kate got in my way, the bitch. Even times like this. Sometimes losing hours of progress is just really frustrating when you have a 100 days challenge like this. We find ourselves at What's Consumer Electronics. What is this place? I guess it's just an electric store once upon a time with a bunch of Mr. Handies that are out of commission and a locked security gate. Thankfully, I've got our girl Kate here with us. She's a little bit of a criminal, so she can pick most locks. It just took me ages to figure out exactly how to do this. I've never done it before. Commanding women to do my bidding is never been my strong point. Ask my wife. But I've got a machete, so bitch better get to work. She failed. She couldn't get in. Couldn't do it. I have no idea how that happened. And for some reason, I couldn't get her to do the top security gate. She's not very freaking helpful, is she?
It's your
It's
funeral.
too difficult. I thought she was supposed to be able to unlock master. Apparently, she's got limitations or something. We made it into the final boss man room and destroyed the assistant manager, Mr. Handy. Got our hands on all of the loot. Probably safe to say that this place is cleared. So it's time for us to leave. We had now returned back to this house. We had died here earlier. I don't know if you guys remember. I had also picked up this brand new sniper rifle. It's pretty damn powerful. Being able to two-shot these blood bugs makes this gun pretty damn amazing. Sometimes the bugs get a hold of us though. It's kind of gross. Now, if you're unfamiliar with this game, why is this place so important to us? Well, once we killed all of the bugs in this place, we could unlock its workshop, and now we have access to another settlement where I placed down this sink so we could drink some purified water and called it a day by sleeping in this bed. Day 13, and I'm really liking the way that this light works, but it still takes me a little bit to get used to the way that this Pip-Boy looks now. Knowing that I need to level up, I think it's best we start doing some quests. And this particular quest that we're on leads us to Trinity Tower, which is a large building infested with super mutants, dangerous ones. We managed to take it out eventually. What are you gonna give me? Freezing laser musket? Oh. I think this is good. Maybe. Trinity Tower is a tall, skinny building filled with overgrown wannabe Hulks. That sounds like they have the intelligence equivalent to Kim Kardashian. I don't think they really like that comparison. This was turning out to be quite the difficult task. So to rethink my strategy, I had a quick pit stop over at Diamond City to visit the doctor real quick and patch ourselves up and purchase a little bit of ammo for our weapons. We only really had ammo for our shotgun. That's kind of why we've been dying heaps. All right, we're back at Trinity Tower. This time having a much better run killing these super mutants. This combat rifle comes in clutch, especially when we use VATS. It has better precision and aim. I then told Kate to get on her knees and start pick-locking things.
Nope. Not gonna happen.
She's a strong, independent woman. That's probably why she said no. But I had a shotgun. So girl, get back to work. We made it to the roof of Trinity Tower where we faced a super mutant called Fist. I expected him to be a lot tougher than he was. Our combat rifle is just too good. Got him. He had a minigun, so I took it, but it made us over encumbered. These guns can be worth a lot of money and they can kind of be fun to use. I'll figure out our slow walking pace eventually. We then found this man named Rex Goodman just stashed away in this lockup. I'm pretty sure that he was one of the super mutants prisoners. I would leave him in the cage for a little bit. First, I had to give some stuff to Kate so I could walk normally. Okay, Mr. Goodman, you can now come out. There were some other super mutants that weren't very happy about me releasing him. Then there was another super mutant that seemed to be on our side. Oh, and for the sake of the comment section, no, I didn't forget this bobblehead. Now it's time for our escape. We found this little elevator thing and used it to get down. Coming, Kate. Quick. See you at the bottom. My bad. Stuck alone with a friendly super mutant and a random suited white man? Feels like that good old question. Would you rather be stuck in a forest with a man or a bear? In this particular instance, I was kind of glad they were there. We started getting shot at by all these other super mutants, and I was kind of stuck in this little spot, so it was kind of, sketchy. We eventually made it to the ground, and then this super mutant introduced himself to us. His name is Strong. I guess because he's probably pretty strong. Rex Goodman followed. Who the hell names themselves Rex? What a weird name. Rex here used to work at Trinity Tower. I think he's like a radio presenter or something. Either way, I'm pretty sure he's a descendant of Joe Biden. And Stronghair is basically a green Kanye West. Big Mr. Stronghair can become one of our companions. But we're having a good time with Kate, so we're just going to leave him for now. We made it back to Sanctuary in the early morning of day 14. We had gained a ton of loot, so I had to store it all in the workshop, especially some of these bigger guns. But there was no time to mess around. It was time to head back out so we could start leveling. We made it to the Wicked Shipping Fleet lockup, where I shredded a bunch of these feral ghouls and managed to pick up a key and this Grog the Barbarian comic book. Plus, I wanted to come here to get a bunch of junk items. All of this stuff is what we use to be able to build some stuff back at Sanctuary and all of our settlements. Wandering through the wastelands underneath this overpass bridge thing, we come across some junk bots, a swarm bot, and a bunch of different bots. They were all rather aggressive. With these robots coming into the world, this signifies the start of the Automatron DLC questline. We find some deceased people in some awkward positions and almost get exploded by a car.
That was unnecessary.
We do manage to find enough fusion cores to get into that vault that we accessed earlier, but do we go there straight away? No, we don't. After we looted everything, we went and introduced ourselves to this blue robot. It's kind of giving Quagmire vibes, you know, from that one episode.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm just gonna go and check my mail over there.
This is Ada, A-D-A, and all of these people around it were her friends. Ada here can also be a companion. Again, we're not going to go with Ada right now because Kate is our good friend, if you know what I mean. But having this DLC questline might be a fun way to play around a little bit later on. Then, all of a sudden, Kate wanted to have a talk and get all serious and stuff.
I'd really like to talk to you.
Of course. Anything you need.
Anything I need, huh? I might take you up on that one day. After Tommy stuck me with you, I was expecting to hate your guts. Now, so far, you've been treating me like a friend. Now, I don't mean to sound ungrateful, but your kindness is starting to make me wonder. If there's anything I learned in the combat zone, it was that nobody does things for other people without expecting something in return.
What exactly do you think I'm expecting in return?
Who knows? Doing your laundry, taking a bullet for you, hauling your gear. What's the difference?
Honestly, she's pretty spot on. That's all I need her for now. She's also good at breaking into places, so that's helpful. Did I mention she's really good at taking one for the team? Like this.
You're dead. We're gonna watch this all in slow-mo. You are so dead. You are dead. Watch this. 3, gone.
That was quite brutal, but also quite entertaining. Nothing some drugs to the neck can't fix. Since meeting those robots earlier, we were instructed to head down to the southeast to investigate the General Atomics factory. It was quite far away, so I knew this would be a golden opportunity to discover more of the map as well, and take out some enemies to get some more resources and loot, as well as that much needed experience points. We experienced many enemies along the way. A bunch of gunners, some raiders, and even a giant scorpion.
Oh, shoot.
But we made it to General Atomics factory in one piece. Our nice peaceful run all the way out here didn't last very long. As soon as we got here, we ended up going into a death loop.
Maybe it's too early to come here. Maybe I need to be a higher level. Yeah, I'm just getting my ass handed to me by those freaking robots.
These damn robots were just way too hard, and we're just not quite prepared for them right now. Again, I tried to take down one of these crazy kamikaze super mutants and had a couple close calls.
I can hear him right behind me. Got him.
Whew. We ended up at some random monument in Boston. There was a bunch of enemies around and this raider encampment, but then there was this.
There's no way I'm beating that right now, but we're gonna try thanks to quick save.
With my current arsenal of weapons and Kate going down, I had a little idea on how to defeat this guy by running away swiftly and leading it into the raider encampment.
I'm coming to hide in here. There's a deathclaw coming. Chill out, boys. And let the deathclaw clear them all up. What? Don't shoot me. There's a freaking deathclaw right there. What are you aiming at me for?
At first, I thought this was a good idea. Then there was a freaking legendary raider there. Maybe if I got the deathclaw to fight the legendary raider, that might help us. Either way, one of these guys will lose. Oh, like that. The legendary raider went down. Now to just deal with this death claw. I think all the raiders are dead. Also, this legendary raider didn't drop anything decent. +3 to all stats when you are 25% less health. I don't know. This ain't too good. I mean, it's kind of good, but no one wants to live in under 25% health. Deathclaw's still alive. What are we gonna do? I was given a flare gun by Preston Garvey, and I'm pretty sure this is supposed to summon in Minutemen. It wasn't quite working for us. So instead, I tried throwing a grenade, which seemed to work. Mixed with our sniper rifle, of course. Day 15, and we woke up with goddamn parasites. And apparently, it makes me require more food. I think I have parasites in real life. Also, we still required a little bit more sleep. The last couple days have been kind of crazy. I then built this mechanical water purifier and moved our cooking pot closer to our most central location. Where it was kind of far away. Like, not super far away, but far away enough that it was just kind of inconvenient to get to. Then, look who showed up to our settlement. Trash Can Carla, the lady that wouldn't get robbed from me. That's because I tried to rob you earlier.
Shoot me, because I ain't giving you shit.
She comes into my house with an attitude once again.
Yeah, take that in the head, you fucking angry, crazy lady.
You just shoot at nothing? I was just trying to fight Trash Can Carla, and Kate wanted to fight everyone.
Kate, chill, bro. That's not who we're fighting.
I'd found doing missions and quests was the best way to level up and get experience points. So I chose another one of these quests and began heading out to go and complete it. It led us to the middle of nowhere where we had to fight these reskinned raiders they call the Forged. These guys are basically just raiders that have a love for fire. They're the type of people to start bushfires for no damn reason. And honestly, they're kind of tough to beat. Fire is no joke. Kate wasn't too helpful. She kept getting downed. I was still determined as ever to defeat these guys. But then I got killed by a freaking stingwing. It wasn't even a part of this whole thing. I finally found some decent cover behind this tree and was able to take out Pyro. We weren't out of the woods just yet. He still had some companions around, and Kate was out of action. We took the last guy out and started collecting all the good gear, including all the pieces of this power armor. Stealing this, though, would start a new quest line. But I just didn't know about it just yet. And it's a whole questline that was only introduced in the next gen update of Fallout 4. Kate finally opened up one of these security gates. Randomly, there was a hardened sniper rifle in this tiny ass container. Kinda weird, but hey, I'll take it. As we made our way out of this location, we ran into this stunted Yaogwai.
Oh, shoot.
What the frick is a Yaogwai? Well, basically like a mutated bear. And they're pretty damn deadly.
Ouch, 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 move. Too easy, my ass. That was hard as hell.
We have now made it to the Slog, which is a settlement full of severe sunburn victims, aka ghouls.
Hey, you're looking pretty fly for a ghoul guy.
And honestly, this group of people were quite friendly. They let me take all of their tar berries and didn't complain. Although they did ask me to do a favor for them. They had some super mutants that needed taking care of, and I promised I'd do it. But as I was heading in that direction, we ran into some bloatflies, which included a legendary glowing bloatfly. It had a star and a skull next to its name. Well, until I combat shotgunned it in the face and it's dead. But the weird thing was, as I approached this location, I got ambushed.
Defeat the ambush? We ain't ready for whatever the hell is happening right now.
This felt like quite the stitch up.
It's from the Enclave? I didn't even know the Enclave were in Fallout 4.
But ultimately, I was determined to defeat these guys. I just had to get past the poison from this bloatfly.
Bro, he just takes too long to heal.
Then at least I could move on to the Enclave soldiers. All I needed to do to trigger the event was get near this white car, which seemed simple enough, but staying alive was quite difficult.
Trigger this ambush and run. Where is it? Mother...
It was really this guy, the Enclave Hellfire Trooper. He had some weird flamethrower grenade launcher type thing, and if it hit you, it hurt. I ran into the Slog to try and get some cover, and I was kind of hoping for some help from the ghouls, but they were all asleep. I then ran up to here to get some high ground so at least I can get a better shot off by using my sniper rifle, but then this trapped me here, leading to my inevitable death. I'm determined more than ever to defeat these Enclave troopers. And each time I die, I come back with a better strategy. It's quite simple, really. Just run really far away and try and avoid getting hit. I managed to take down one of the Enclave soldiers and then steal his equipment. I wanted to try out this new fancy pulse gun.
Bro, where's this guy going?
See if it was effective against the Enclave people.
Found him.
And it was kind of effective, I guess. I mean, we defeated this Hellfire Trooper. After defeating this Hellfire Trooper, we went and inspected his inventory. Then we saw this. They were sent to kill me. I'm gonna have to investigate exactly why they're after me. But first, there's somebody missing.
Where's Kate?
She was knocked down from the Enclave soldiers, and then she just kind of disappeared after all the chaos. I traveled back to Sanctuary because I had a whole bunch of stuff on me, but I also wanted to see if Kate was here, and I couldn't seem to find her. I don't know exactly what happened right now. I think if I don't pick him up in time or something, there's a kind of bug or whatever that just stops them from following you and your companion just goes away. We do find a solution to this a little bit later, but for now, we're planting some corn. Ada was here, so I thought Kate still might have been. I don't know. I then went to the combat zone thinking maybe Kate would be here since this is where we first met. There she is.
Can't wait to get out of this goddamn heat.
Of course, I made her our companion again, but she was kind of upset that we were here.
Why the hell are we back here? You know how much I hate this fucking place.
With Kate back by our sides, we entered Massachusetts State House. Why? Just because we can. My goal here was just to clear some areas and get some more loot. Trying to get me with a tripwire. But what I wasn't expecting was these overgrown crabs. They're kind of gross and gruesome and kind of tough too. Since you can't shoot them on the shell, you got to shoot them in like the legs or the face. Their shell works kind of like armor and is kind of impenetrable. I don't think it does any damage. I'm not sure. Damn, this is one of those things where I have to jump down. Bro. Not fun. Into the water. I had a sneaking suspicion that jumping down here means there's no return. And of course, we got hunted down by an overgrown lobster that would absolutely destroy me. I then thought to myself, I do love eating some cooked lobster. Maybe a Molotov can help us out. I mean, something got cooked. This time around, I just tried following this red line here and just keep running past all of these enemies. Instead, this just led us to a computer that let us open a door, but also attracted a whole bunch of overgrown head lice and the Mirelurk Queen. We were in a location with some pretty decent cover, so with our sniper rifle, we were able to take out this big queen. It just took us a while between each reload and trying to dodge getting spat on by this acid stuff. Making progress. Wait for it. This is gonna be it. This is the last. We did it. Oh my god, that's some XP. That's some juice. Now just to defeat this Mirelurk hunter, and we're good to go. Now we find ourselves in another building, trying to find our way out of this place and avoid traps. This time encountering some raiders. Picked up this legendary pistol as well. Things were starting to look a little grim. Our health was kind of low. We were radiated and we were full of ailments that just made our AP points pretty low as well. Also, Kate got kind of stuck in a different area once we jumped into that hole, so she's not around helping. We cleared out a whole bunch of raiders and then we had to go find Kate. And there she is, knocked out, unable to move. Going down to get her is kind of inconvenient because it makes us backtrack quite a bit, but I didn't want her to end up back at the combat zone once again. And I mean, we need to look after our Irish girl with an attitude. We're in the final area where we have to take down an attack dog. Lucky it's kind of ugly, otherwise I would have felt bad. Similarly, we had to take down this Raider Scaver wearing a power armor set. Taking out this Raider Scaver signified us completing this area. And there was a ton of really good loot here. Stuff I knew I could sell for a lot, but we couldn't take it all. We were already quite encumbered. Now back to Sanctuary once again to deposit all of our new loot. I also went to the power armor station to check out this new power armor that we had collected. The Hellfire set that we got off the Enclave people, or maybe Pyro, I forget who. It's pretty cool, I guess, but I don't know if I'll ever use it. Maybe I will. We will see. Day 18, we took it a little bit easy, just doing some work around our settlement. Firstly, placing in a recruitment radio beacon, so we can obviously recruit some more people to the settlement. Adding some more beds so they have a good place to sleep, and increasing our water output. More people in the settlement means we require more defense. I then went and traveled over to Diamond City, but this is when I realized the fast travel thing can kind of be an issue as well. We arrived here so much later on in the day, which means we wasted most of this day just fast traveling. This was an important trip though. I had to sell a bunch of stuff that we had looted, as well as stock up on a little bit of ammo. But now we have to be smart when we fast travel, because remember, this is a 100 days challenge. I need to fit everything I need to do in this 100 days. And if we fast travel around too much and we waste a lot of time just doing that, we might not make it to our final end goal. Early morning of day 19, we find ourselves at the Slug, where we spot an Enclave encampment. Obviously, I'm trying to kill these guys. They're our enemies after all. I'm quickly reminded that these guys ain't no joke, and our boy Timmy Sins is allergic to fire. Even with the jet didn't work. Our next attempt, I thought maybe it could hide in here. He's gonna hide out with you, son. Oh, watch out, bro. Watch out, bro. Yeah, plot armor. What? When this all failed, I just gave up. We're just not prepared yet. Maybe we need to get a little stronger than we are. Instead, that night, we came over to this hole in the ground again and fought some more feral ghouls. This time around, we're having a bit of a better time. Our guns are kind of stronger. Kind of. I mean, they would be if we had enough ammo. We finally took down the two toughest ghouls, one getting a legendary weapon. This one kind of sucks. On day 20, we get ourselves into a fight with some super mutants and some of these servo robots. Getting caught in the middle of this was kind of sketchy. The super mutants and the robots were fighting against each other, so I just tried to keep my distance and shoot with my sniper rifle. The sniper rifle was kind of tough. We now have a quest that sends us here. Monsignor Plaza. Once we entered, we met a whole bunch of raiders that wanted to kill us. My goal was to take out most of these guys with my machete. Well, until we need to use guns, which was pretty much straight away. Machine gun turrets are kind of tough and you can't really machete them. I mean, you probably could, but I couldn't. In this particular mission, we had to take out Marvin's store security. There's some random wasteland traders that are fighting against each other over something probably quite trivial. We managed to get our hands on one of these things. A legendary rapid pipe grenade launcher rifle. This is what we were after. Marvin's note. I'm sure whatever it says was important, but you know, let's move on. We have a steamer trunk that we need to loot and more raiders that we need to end. We're working really hard to level up right now and gear up as well. We're starting to get there, but we're just not quite there yet. Oh, did I mention Kate left us again? We had to go back to the combat zone to get her. This is actually quite inconvenient. We were kind of close to Trinity Tower, so I stopped over there to speak to Strong real quick.
Strong travel with human. Human helps Strong find milk of humankind.
I asked him to join us on our journey, and then I sent Kate back to Sanctuary. Back in Sanctuary, I gave Strong some of this super mutant heavy armor. Man's starting to look quite tough. Also, since we've been fast traveling all around the place, we kind of lost a lot of the day. So to finish the day off, I added this nuka mixing station to our place and this robot workbench, so we can make our own robots. Day 21 and we're back out on another adventure. We pass through Red Rocket, quickly stop by the cutie Mrs. Abernathy, then randomly run into more of these robots. Middle of the wasteland, we saw a gigantic super mutant, so I shot it. I think Strong was kind of excited about this. I was kind of nervous. Ouch! Freaking aimbot or what? Strong goes down to his larger cousin, the behemoth. Now we need to survive and try and take this beast down. This building that we're hiding in and our combat rifle seems to do the trick. Come on. Booyah. Here you go, Strong. Time to get back up now, son. Using my sniper, I scoped out a raider camp. Do I have any real reason to fight these guys? No, I just like this sniper a lot. And Strong's super bloodthirsty, so we gotta feed that rage, right? Also loot. We love loot. We love resources. We love gear. We love ammo. We just want the whole lot. This place ended up turning out to be quite a good location. There was even more places in here that we could go down into, where we could fight some more raiders and get some juicy XP, and even kill a lady with red Tourette's. I'm pretty sure that's a disability. Maybe we shouldn't have done that. I'm grateful for the free loot though. What's this? Permanently more difficult to detect while sneaking. It was on this day that I realized I think we're a serial killer. So many humans, super mutants, and even dogs have died by our hands. I suppose it kind of suits our badass raider look, I guess. Day 22, we almost lose our lives to this tripwire. We're trying to finish this quest line where we have to deal with like the store owners of the trader out in the wastelands, and we need to find the boss of the store. But in order to get to him, we need to take out his security, or maybe throw a grenade in his face. This is Marvin, our opponent in this battle. Is he like throwing money? He is indeed throwing money at us. I think he has things a little bit confused. He thinks I'm a regular hooker. Our biggest nemesis in this game is this. Marvin has some crazy rocket launcher thing that keeps killing us quickly. Charging him. So I switch up my strategy by just charging him and using VATS to end him. And this worked perfectly. Piggy bank fat man. Don't mind if I do. Piggy bank launcher bomb. Grenade launcher schematics. That's what we're after. As we began to leave, Marvin's security were pretty unhappy that we killed him. Oh shit. Come on, dude, just shoot him. We haven't really introduced him properly, but this is Suggs, and he's the one that made this quest all happen. I handed in the quest, and then he gave me the penetrating Chinese grenade launcher rifle. I can't really imagine any Chinese penetrating many things, but a free legendary weapon, I'll take it. Moving on, we do some more exploring. Then we meet a gentleman named Parker Quinn. Parker Quinn, I know this guy.
Pardon me, sir. Parker Quinn. I just want to say it's a good thing you came by my corner.
If you say so.
I do say so.
If you have a point, make it.
Oh, I get a point. I get a point like a spear. Look, because you're obviously a busy, dangerous, and exceedingly intelligent person, I'm going to cut right to it.
Parker Quinn here yaps so much that he gives me an infection. I mean, it was either him or it might have been Kate. We don't know yet. Anyways, to summarize all the yapping, Parker Quinn here basically tries to sell us this thing called a charge card.
The charge card?
That's what I said. Charge card. It's super simple. You give me 110 caps right now, and I give you this charge card.
Sounds good. I'll take one.
Awesome. I'll take your money, and you get the charge card. Great doing business with you. Tell your friends, Parker Quinn, same corner every day. Retard.
What'd you say?
Why are you gonna be like that?
Thank you. Now I get the charge card and the money. And that, folks, is how you do business in the Commonwealth. Our next mission sends us over to this quarry. And any veteran Fallout 4 player will know exactly where we are. Quarry full of raiders that were actually quite tough. Bro, she will not die. Behind you, bro. Behind you, dude. In the head. You're dead. Oh, I love this game. We patiently made our way through this place and sometimes encountered some really scary scenes. We dealt with all the raiders inside this quarry, then entered this cave that led us to another vault. These raiders were trying to get inside this vault. I dealt with them. I could use my Pip-Boy to gain access to the vault. The lady that was inside wasn't too happy that I gained access. But welcome into Vault 88. That was filled with feral ghouls. I think the vault dwellers that were here originally all turned into ghouls. And of course, the one particular one that we need to defeat is extremely tough and legendary. He would one-shot us. That was until I got the Chinese grenade launcher out and shot it down in there. This thing kind of came in clutch. I blew up his legs. Not a one-hit wonder now, are ya? I'm not gonna waste my ammo. Oh, poor fella. Oh, I almost feel bad for him. Not only is he ugly. Oh, wait, leave him alone, friend. Oh, that was brutal. We scored a lucky missile launcher. Cool. It was rather heavy, but fortunately, this place had a workshop, which we could unlock and then store all of our heavy goods in there. We then gained access to this area, where I needed to clear a whole bunch of debris just so I could get in. This is where we met Overseer Barstow. She's a ghoul that can still hold a conversation, but is she right in the mind? Definitely not. Like, she considers these ghouls her family. Like, bro, you're not Vin Diesel, and when they glow, they've got to go. Yeah, that one wasn't good. In the end, Overseer Barstow wasn't too depressed that I killed her family, but she yapped so much she made me tired. There was a bed nearby, so it was time for us to sleep for the night. Early morning of day 23, we woke up and spoke to our overseer friend. This vault is actually quite huge, and this lady wants me to clear the place out. I begin by scrapping all the stuff in the general vicinity, then scrapping this massive rock slide that opens up a whole new area. It was here that we ran into some mole rats. Rather scary and strong ones too. Just the pure fact that there was a legendary mole rat broodmother and a glowing mole rat, we were getting our butt kicked. Even Strong went down to them. Then he whipped out the missile launcher. We won. The mole rats didn't end there though. As we kept progressing onwards, we ran into some more. We finally made it to our quest point, which is another workbench, but it won't work without a control board. We backtracked a little bit and we found it waiting in this little storage room. We now have access to this workbench and could begin scrapping in the local area, including this big rock face that opened up to a whole bunch of rad scorpions. Somehow the difficulty has all of a sudden ramped up. I jumped on top of these things to try and get away from the rad scorpions, and I could take down the one that was chasing around Strong, but the others would burrow underground, so I'd have to get down from here just to get them out of there so I can kill them. I had returned to our base of operations feeling quite parched. So to quench that thirst, I put down this sink. Where the plumbing comes from, who knows? Anyways, it's back to going out to find another one of these workshops that we can unlock. Clearing out all of these ghouls and collecting this control panel. Now we have unlocked the North Sector workbench. Boom. But behind this wall was something quite scary. Oh, for fuck's sake. Bro. If I wanted a real chance at defeating this thing, I had to pull out the big guns. Yes, the Chinese grenade launcher. Bro, of course he's legendary alpha. Bro. Ooh. Yes! I'm just a man, bro. Now that we have unlocked some more of the workbenches in this vault, we could now let in some settlers. But the settlers that we were letting in were not just settlers to us.
Welcome. So, this here's a vault, right? Quite correct.
And you could be one of our lucky new residents.
You see, we were luring people here with the premise that this place was safe because it's a vault. But we did have ulterior motives. The crazy genius mad scientist Overseer Barstow wanted to experiment on some people. And this gentleman right here seemed to be the perfect candidate.
Great, another idiot.
I'm not dumb. I just really want to live here.
Our first experiment, just, you know, a good person.
I like him. I think we found our man.
Gee, thanks. Found what exactly?
We're looking for a volunteer, Clem. Someone to test some new devices that will help everyone.
Now, of course, Clem can't be a proper vault dweller without his outfit. Strangely enough, he kind of needs help getting dressed. Equip that, bruh. We had spare vault suits, so we hooked this settler up as well. I had crafted up an overseer's workstation for our girl here. And from here, she could get to work doing crazy overseer research stuff. She's pretty crazy for what she has planned, but I'm here for it. Well, I am the one building her a little experiment. And experiment number 1 requires this power cycle, but I need to power it, which is why I placed down this generator. I also had to place down this computer terminal as well, because that's how we get all the data, you know, for the experiment. Now all we need to do is make Clem ride this for a whole damn hour. I'm not about to stand around for an hour, so I'm gonna take a quick nap while he keeps pedaling. That was kind of crazy. We killed Clem. Not dead. Not dead. Clem, you good, bro? Just chilling. He's easy. He's just chilling. He's just chilling.
I broke your vault. I just got so excited and I wanted to do a good job and I kept pedaling faster and faster. And then the whole vault went kablooey.
Somehow Overseer Barstow was happy with this.
For the next experiment, we'll need something from outside.
Overseer Barstow needs me to head on out to the wastelands to collect something for her, just so we can continue this quest line. But before I'd go and do that, I figured I'd go and open up another workbench in this vault. To continue on this quest line, we don't actually have to have this place fully open, but it still might be handy to have. This workbench was protected by a bunch of Mirelurks. With the weapons that we have, these guys were a little bit easier to take down. But then there was a Mirelurk queen, so I brought out the big guns once again. This grenade launcher is just too damn powerful. Nope, not today, lady. Today is my day. Oh no, she's spitting in my face. That's kind of gross. In our last moments before death, I tried to drop myself a psycho jet and heal ourselves. All right, let me shoot. This wasn't very effective, so we try again. And that's how you do it. After defeating the Queen Mirelurk, we managed to get what we needed and unlock this workbench. As I was leaving this tunnel though, I was chased down by some rad scorpions and a ghoul. The settlers came to our aid though and helped us out. Day 24 and we're back in Sanctuary. I have returned so I could build this manufacturing facility thing. There's so many things that you can actually build in this game that are actually quite interesting. This particular manufacturing thing that we've built will produce us ammunition. Well, that's if I can feed it the right resources. Most ammunition requires steel and fertilizer. Now we do have a lot of steel just from scrapping stuff around the ways, but we're lacking in the fertilizer department. Instead, let's go out and do that mission for Vault 88. We have come to Hallucinogen, where there's a whole bunch of crazy gunners all fighting, and well, I think they're fighting each other. Strong isn't too pleased with these guys and sledgehammers them in the head. Kind of brutal. We find yet another magazine. These things are actually really good to find and collect. Then we encounter more of these gunners that are just going absolutely crazy. Like, I get it. We're in a facility called Hallucinogen, and I'm assuming they're all like kind of tripping out. Kind of crazy that they're all violent too. Like, why can't they hallucinate that I'm a pretty woman or something? Legendary gunner goes down. Legendary weapon acquired. That kind of sucks. I enter this room and I see a strange shimmer. Now, I watch the Predator movies and I'm pretty sure I know what's going on here. Oh. Oh, that wasn't him. You can't fool me though. I see you, son. Hasta la vista, baby. After all of that, we found exactly what we're looking for. Now, I guess it's time we head back to Vault 88. Well, normally I would head back to Vault 88, but I got a little bit distracted. We're currently level 27, which means we're only 3 levels away from hitting level 30 and heading to Nuka World. And before leveling up, I wanted to kind of do a little bit more exploring and unlock some new locations. 8 o'clock at night, we're back at Vault 88. Overseer Barstow was rather happy to see us. So damn happy, we began the next experiment immediately, which requires us to make a soda fountain. Kind of crazy that I had to go to Hallucinogen just so I could learn to make a soda fountain. Seems kind of sus, but I'm glad we have the perfect guinea pig for it. Of course, I had to wait for an hour for anything to happen, but when I did awake, he was still going. Nothing was exploding, but I do think he's drunk. I'm not too sure if that's soda or something else.
I think we've turned the simple soda fountain into something noble. On to the next prototype.
Okay, so the soda fountain wasn't too bad. What does she have planned for the next experiment?
Your ideas keep getting worse.
Terrible. We've perfected 2 prototypes already. This is what progress looks like.
This lady is super cooked, but I'm here for it. For this next experiment, I needed to extend this area a little bit so I could make this thing. It's like an eye testing machine. I can't pronounce what it's really called. Now, this experiment sounds good, right? We're just trying to fix people's eyesight. Problem is, Clem's running the operation. Surprisingly, our settler's not dead. Oh, baby got back. Anyone else realize how good these vault suits look on some women? Anyways, I had to ask this lady about her eye exam.
I've never had an eye exam before.
These experimental devices could make life better. For everyone.
After Clem going crazy on that damn power cycle, are you guys some sort of sickos?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, right. I heard the stories about Vault-Tec. Looks like they were true. At least up in the Commonwealth, everyone's up front about trying to kill you or rip you off. Run while you can, Clem.
This settler decided to leave us, and we couldn't have that. Just wait there. No, Strong, you don't want to see this. You don't want to see this. This bitch talking shit. Now, I couldn't have her going to tell everyone in the Commonwealth exactly what's going on down here. Now, the final experiment was a slot machine. Now it's Clem's time to start gambling. Also, we're probably going to get some new settlers come through quite soon, so of course I had to prepare for their arrival with water, food, all that kind of stuff. After a little while, Clem's experiment was complete, so it was time to speak to Overseer Barstow.
I'm tired of running all these tests.
Then be glad. It's done.
The Lady Overseer sure is smart. I just feel like everything she says makes sense.
With my life's work done, I think I will deliver our schematics to other vaults.
From here, Overseer Barstow declares us as the new Overseer, gives me this Legend of Vault 88 Vault suit, and says she's gonna leave. And you know, we can't keep having people leave like this. No, not at all. Hey, Andy? I also wanted to hold on to their vault suits, but then this felt a little bit inappropriate. I couldn't have their naked bodies just chilling in the hallways like this, so I had to move them out of sight, out of mind. Don't know what's going on here, guys, but it's a little inappropriate. We had now completed the Vault 88 quest line. It's time to move on. We're really close to leveling up, so it's out to the wastelands again to kill some things. We're a lot stronger now, so maybe these Enclave soldiers are going to be the perfect target for us. This battle was still quite tough, but nowhere near as tough as it was earlier. This Enclave Hellfire Trooper, well, he went down. I didn't die once this time. Conveniently enough, there was this wandering doctor. I figured while he was here, I'd get him to cure my health and fix my radiation up. I also looted that Enclave Hellfire power armor, but I couldn't carry it. Thankfully, Strong can carry a lot of stuff, so he had to hold on to it for us. With the Enclave soldiers dead, I went to go check out their outpost. I wanted to know exactly why they're hunting me down. They had a computer handy, so I could read through that. It turns out the Enclave don't like it when anyone else has their equipment. And the fact that I have their power armor, they are not having it. They want it back. I guess we have another enemy faction in the world. Screw the Enclave. Next, I went a little bit northwest so I could clear out some super mutants. The ghouls at the slog asked us to clear these guys out. They were causing them quite a bit of trouble. And for some strange reason, our super mutant friend here stunned our enemies. Bro, whatever you're doing is working. Keep going. The dude's stunned. I returned to the ghouls, handed this quest in, gained valuable experience points and access to their workshop. In my opinion, the slog is a great settlement location. Day 26 and we're at Finch Farm. This place will eventually become a settlement, but first they want me to complete a quest for them. Papa Finch here wants me to go rescue his son from a group of forged raiders, but I ain't about to do it for free.
Industrial buildings like that are pretty dangerous.
I see what you're getting at. 200 caps if you can bring it back for me.
More money?
Sounds like this isn't some normal group of raiders either.
All right. How's 250 caps sound?
I wasn't going to push my luck any further. 250 caps is pretty good.
I'll find it.
You're doing me a big favor.
This factory nearby is where we find the forged. And these pyromaniac crazies are going to go down. 29, chat. Oh, shoot. But this is when I learned a valuable lesson. When you hear this noise, something bad's about to happen. What is that? Now, I know that mini nuke came from the roof somewhere, so I wanted to take out these guys first. Obviously, I used VATS to be able to spot them. We then just needed to go through this factory and clear out all of these Forged members. The Forged are a rather interesting faction. They are basically just reskinned raiders with a fetish for fire. But the strange thing is, this is the only place that you can find these guys. I don't think they exist anywhere else in this world. Ooh. A free set of Raider power armor? Don't mind if I do. Got ourselves some power armor. Made it to the final room with the final boss. He's got a flaming sword and wearing some Raider power armor. And this is where Papa Finch's son was hiding. His name's Jake. He's battling with the idea of becoming one of the members of the Forged, but his morals get mixed up a little bit. Somehow I get asked for advice, a complete stranger. All he needed to do was just kill this guy. There. He wouldn't do it. What a bitch. But killing things is my middle name, so Slag, you're gonna go down. Psych. I died. This ended up being a little tougher than I expected. I think I went in a little bit overconfident. Now, instead of taking out that innocent person for Jake, I just charged straight in to attack the Forged members. This gave us a slight advantage in this fight, and I was able to destroy Slag. From here, it was time for Jake to go running back to his daddy. Little idiot. When we made it back to Finch Farm, there was a little bit of a domestic happening. Papa Finch was being kind of mean to Jake, and Mama Finch wasn't having it.
Then you better stop treating him like a child.
Just remember, Jake, you're still a child, and proven that you're a little bit of a bitch. Anyways, now we have access to the Finch Farm workshop. These guys need a bit of water and some defenses to make themselves happier, and I can supply these things. Day 27, I crafted and placed down a general store in our sanctuary settlement. I did want to place down one of these clinics as well, but I didn't have enough bottle caps at the time. Instead, I crafted one of these things, a chemistry bench, so we can live out our Breaking Bad fantasies. Inside this bench, we can make an assortment of drugs. I specifically want to make these great mentats eventually. They help us barter and buy stuff cheaper. Once again, we went to go visit our Abernathy friends. I'm not trying to be creepy, but I did accidentally stumble into the women's bedroom.
Hey there.
Oops. Then I had a conversation with Mr. Abernathy. He introduced himself.
Word of advice, though. If you do start up a farm, be ready to deal with the raiders. Why do all the hard work when you can just take what you want at gunpoint?
So stop crying about it and stand up for yourself.
Son, you must be new to these parts. You don't stand up to raiders, not if you value your life. Last time those raiders hit us, my daughter Mary tried to stand up to them. Now she's buried out back of the house. Only 21 years old, and they shot her down without a thought.
Quite a sad and depressing story. Blake Abernathy lost his daughter. How should I respond?
If your daughter was that stupid, she got what she deserved.
Small human was weak.
I don't think we're going to be invited back here anytime soon. Hi, Lucy. And since we're not really friends anymore, I stole their potatoes. We then bump into Jake Finch. You see, I've set up trade lines between a few of our settlements. This way, we can move resources between different settlements. These are our current supply lines. It's not much currently, and we'll probably extend this eventually. But this way, if we have resources in one workbench's settlement, they can be shared with another workbench's settlement, and we don't have to carry it around and travel and stuff. We're now back at Vault 81 with the fusion cores that they requested, and like promised, they let us in. This is finally a fully functional vault that still runs, and their overseer is kind of cute, if you get what I mean. Either way, she was grateful that I bought her the fusion cores and then let me explore freely around the vault. Strangely enough, they didn't really care that Strong was here. Like, dude's a super mutant. They didn't bat an eye at him being here. Now, this was the whole reason I came here, to meet Alexis Combs. Not because of her fabulous hairstyle, but because she has a certain item that I can purchase. This, the Overseer's Guardian. This thing is a pretty overpowered combat rifle, and I want it. So I downed some of these great mentats to give us a cheaper rate, and I've been collecting these 38 rounds that are worth 1 bottle cap each. So if I sell her enough of them, I can technically purchase this Overseer Guardian pretty cheap. In the end, after bartering, I only had to pay 108 bottle caps. Baroskies. We did it. And just like that, we now have a pretty damn powerful weapon, which I couldn't use straight away because I was kind of low on ammunition. Since we're already in the city, I went over to this location. Welcome to Hangman's Alley. This is currently a raider encampment that I need to clear out, which is rather simple because there's not many people here. But when I do, we have a great central location for a settlement. There we go. Also, we have now leveled to level 30, and our collection of perks are coming along quite nicely, but we still got a ways to go until I'm really happy. We've specced a lot into the rifleman perk, obviously because I like using rifles. Our intelligence is maxed out so we can earn more experience, but ultimately I find it really hard in the early game to choose the exact perks I need to be able to progress, but also suit my own playstyle. Since we hit level 30, we have now unlocked the new and most important quest line of this playthrough, the Nuka World quest line. We immediately start heading west so we can get to the Nuka World station and head to Nuka World. Along our journey though, we see a crashed spaceship. Oh wow, alien spaceship. It just looks like a toy thing. Wow, green goo? That must be their blood. Wow, maybe let's just follow the green goo signs. Oh, there's there. Oh, the green goo keeps... Oh, that must be like something's in this cave. Wow. Oh, yeah, we light it up. Oh, green goo. Oh, wow. Oh, what the heck? It's... Bro, leave him alone, dude. Oh, no. Oh. Let's try that once again. Yeah, it was a bit easier this time. Now we got our hands on an alien blaster. The only catch is we only have 300 ammo for this thing. Day 28, I got a little bit sidetracked. I went back to Sanctuary because I had a ton of loot that I could scrap, including weapons so we could get some more resources. And of course, I made some upgrades to our Overseer Guardian weapon. I got rid of the scope on it. I didn't really like it. I managed to find some fertilizer in the wastelands as well, so we could now produce some ammunition. Oh, yes. Hey, there we go. Obviously, I made the ammo specifically for my Overseer Guardian. I had a quick nap and then I woke up and started making some Nuka-Cola stuff. Yeah, you can make like special Nuka-Cola drinks in this thing. I went to the robot workbench and I made a robot. Call me John O'Connor because I'm pretty sure I just made the Terminator. Also, it's been fun having Strong around, but it's time to get our girl Kate back. I was curious to see what she'd look like in other clothes. Oh, it's a lovely dress there, Kate. Although very pretty. That's not our Kate. There we go. Much better. Now we're set and ready. It's time to head over to Nuka World. Surprisingly, it was quite the dangerous adventure heading to Nuka World. Even once we got to the Nuka World Transit Center, there were some real dangers here. I knew for a fact that these gunners were going to be hostile as soon as I shot. And the gunners weren't my main concern. The most dangerous thing here was this. Holy, I just got melted. This gunner Assaultron really didn't want us to get to Nuka World. It was absolutely ruthless. My girl Kate here sorted it out though. With the Assaultron out of the way, we just had to deal with the rest of these gunners. The little grunts were pretty easy to take out, but Commander Kayla here, she was tough. And invisible. Motherfucker went invisible. But how well would she stand up against our alien blaster? Got ya. Now we could finally go to Nuka World. I walked into the little transit station and met a guy that's laying there on the ground. His name is Harvey and he's kind of had a rough time.
You look terrible.
Tell me about it. My family and I ran into some traders a while back. Told us they knew a safe settlement at Nuka World. But when we got there, found out they were raiders the whole time, just stringing us along. I managed to escape, but my wife and son are still back there. I wanted to get some help and go back for them, but didn't count on taking a bullet.
Mr. Harvey here gave me this massive sob story about how he was trapped and all this kind of stuff, but I don't think Kate really cared. She interrupted my conversation because she wanted to have a chat. Kind of an inconvenient and rude time to interrupt me, Kate.
I got something I want to say to you.
If it makes you feel better.
Kate basically told us her entire life story, how her parents suck and sold her off to slavers and all that kind of stuff. And that's kind of why she's got such a bad attitude right now. Of course, like any sleazy man would, I took this opportunity and her vulnerability and decided to flirt with her.
I'm always here for you, Kate. There's nothing you can say that would ever change that.
I'm glad you feel that way. We're partners, and we should know everything about
it. Wasn't very effective, but trust me, I will win her love over eventually. Oh yeah, and Harvey here, he looked like he was in pain, so I put him out of his misery. Then a man started speaking to us over the intercom. Now it was finally time to go to Nuka World. To Nuka World we go! We took a lovely scenic ride on this Nuka World tram. Then a random individual contacted us through the intercom system.
The name's Gage. Porter Gage. And the truth is that guy Harvey you offed was just a setup to draw you into our little death trap.
Yep, turns out this whole thing was a massive setup. All because these sicko raiders wanted us to be their entertainment. They now wanted us to enter the Gauntlet. This is just a House of Horrors booby-trapped area that's purely designed to kill us. The first area has a whole bunch of turrets that we need to take out, and this is where my sniper rifle really comes in clutch. The next room was kind of messed up. Mr. One Eye open. Mutton chop. Mr. Two Eyes open. Let's get One Eye open. That was scary. Oh shit. Alright, well I guess it's this one then. In the room that followed, the raiders were kind enough to leave us some ammunition and also gave me access to this computer so I could turn off some turrets. But to be safe, to make sure the turrets don't turn on, I took out the monkey that would trigger them. We then entered a maze and there were some messed up rats that I needed to take out with my shish kebab. We're back on the melee weapons. I don't really want to run out of ammo while I'm down here, but then, you know, I die. I'm glad I changed the survival settings to allow me to save whenever I needed, because I could never have made it through the gauntlet without it. Some of these enemies are really tough. I'm really glad I had my one true love here, my alien blaster. There were times I would trigger traps, but as long as I remained cautious, I would be able to dodge them. No. Stupid bitch got in my way. This next room was a complete puzzle, which means you need to have some sort of intelligence to be able to get through it. You know, like anybody with half a brain would know when a room is filling up with gas, don't ignite the gas by shooting. So far, the gauntlet's been really tough. And you know what? We faced some big rats. We faced, you know, big grenades, traps, and everything. But the one thing that killed me the most was a swarm of flying ants. These things were more annoying than a kid kicking the back of your chair, more deadly than Vladimir Putin on a bad day, and just outright the biggest pain in my butt ever. You know how hard these things were to defeat? Heck, in the end, it wasn't even me that defeated them. It was Kate. Either way, I was glad, and we made it to the next area. This area was a little messed up. They call it audience participation. In other words, the raiders could now come down and shoot you through this cage. Then finally, we made it to the last area where we saw the big boss man that we need to defeat. We managed to make it to this locker room that had some gear for us, some more ammo, and then this thing. It's called the Thirst Zapper. At the time, I had no idea what this was. It had an interesting name, so I was grateful that I had it. But then I got to speak to Porter Gage through this intercom system, and he explained the entire situation to me. Kind of weird. He wants me to defeat the current Overboss, and he's on our side, and you know I'm here to clap some cheeks. For some reason, this Overboss Coulter guy was electrified, and this Thirst Zapper turns out to be a water gun, so it's kind of perfect for this situation. When I made Overboss Coulter wet, it would power down his electricity. I would then take this Psycho Jet, which would slow down time, and then I could go in for the attack. Can't see me. He's wearing a full set of power armor. This way, at least I had some sort of an advantage. After eliminating Overboss Coulter, we then got to meet Porter Gage in person. He's wearing this Tonka truck outfit and rocking only one eye. He's a badass looking mofo. And apparently a lot of the raiders here were pretty happy that Overboss Coulter is now gone.
Guess what? You just got the job.
And now I am officially the new Overboss. Kinda crazy. Yes, I know. Stranger walks into their house, kills all of their people, and starts taking their stuff. Sounds kinda like colonialism. We have now successfully made our way into Nuka World, and can officially say we are now the Raider Overboss. Some of the raiders here are a little bit quirky. Some are a little bit creepy. Oh, this lady, she's not a raider. She's just a really weird Nuka World fanatic.
You can just imagine the children's
Yeah, weirdo. We were then instructed to go to our new headquarters to meet Porter Gage. This is Fizz Top Grill and our new home of operations as the Raider Overboss. It was here that Porter Gage gave us a general rundown of how things work here and instructed me on exactly what I needed to do next. You see, there's 3 separate gangs that currently reside here: the Pack, the Operators, and the Disciples. So right after we have a quick nap, which I'm pretty sure we deserve after running the gauntlet, I'm gonna go introduce myself to all the gangs. Starting with the Disciples. These guys are really messed up, but I will admit, I really love their armor. They like to stab things, and I think they like blood a lot. Next, we went to the Operators. In the lore, the Operators come from the upper class, but they were rejected for being kind of outcasts of rich people and whatever. They're like the fancy gangsters that love money over everything. Finally, there was the very colorful The Pack.
But I'm the boss of the pack, and it's gonna stay that way.
It's pretty hard to get intimidated by a guy that cosplays the clown. Now, my job as the Raider Overboss is to try and keep things harmonious between these 3 gangs.
Else the gangs will all just fight over who deserves the space.
I also need to unlock other parts of Nuka World and hand them over to the gangs to control. First, I wanted to go have a quick pit stop at the markets. The guys running the markets are essentially slaves. The collars around their neck keep them in line.
Figure it must be a pretty tough job, keeping all these raiders in line.
I think she's trying to flirt with me, but I only have eyes for Kate. Somehow I got a blip on my compass to come over here. This random herbologist wants to know if I'm happy. I would be if I got to blow his head off, but I suppose we'll listen to what he says. He wanted me to follow him and head over to some location a little bit further away, but along the way, we ran into some troubles. You think these Mirelurks are tough? No. Wait until you see what's next. Freaking legendary cave cricket hunters? What the hell? I have defeated some of the biggest Mirelurks you've ever seen, ghouls, super mutants, but I'm taken down by an oversized cricket. I don't feel like I deserve to be the Overboss. What a jerk. This time we took a different route to the location. This was a little bit safer. And we made it to the herbologist camp. This is just a group of weird, crazy fanatics. And I think they're trying to recruit me into their cult. Look, I'm new to Nuka World, so I'll listen to what they say. But the more this lady yaps on, the more I'm kind of confused. And convinced that she's a complete cuckoo clock. Like she's asked me to get spacesuits because she thinks she's going to space. We live in a world that can't create purified water easily. And she thinks she's going to space. All right, Elon Musk. Moving on from the Crazy Lady questline, we're continuing on the Nuka World questline, heading into the Galactic Zone. This is the first area of Nuka World that we need to clear out so we can move in one of the Raider gangs. These Raider gangs are supposed to be big baddies, but they send in a single random to be able to go clear these places out. I'm not really convinced that they are tough. In this particular area of Nuka World, our mission is to gather these star cores, like a whole damn bunch of them, and then place them into here. With this, we will successfully gain control of this area once again. And of course, we got to clear out all of these freaking robots and score some juicy loot. Hey, what's this? Increased speech challenge success challenge. Hey. We managed to pick up a new recipe for the Nuka Cola. Oh, wait. What happened? This is like important? You know, I never imagined getting blown up by a vending machine. But here we are. In order for us to get our hands on some of these star cores, we had to enter some of the buildings that are around this area. And obviously these places were filled with dangerous robots. We did manage to find this greenhouse that had fertilizer in it, and we love fertilizer. Then we can make ourselves some free bullets. Also, we managed to get our hands on some of these astronaut suits for the, crazy people outside. And we had gathered a couple star cores that we could place into the mainframe, but it was nowhere near enough. We needed to get back to work, except we ran into Assaultrons. Or in this place, they're called Novatrons. Still just as dangerous though. They do look a little cooler, I guess, with their color combo, gold and white. We did manage to find the T-51F power suit armor helmet. Also, we found this pretty decent laser rifle. Once again, Kate wanted to have another one of her big chats with us. For a lady that's got such an attitude, she really loves the trauma dump. But to summarize her yapping, basically she has a drug addiction and she wants me to help her get over it. Yes, we are up to our proper relationship quest. And because we're destined to be lovers, I'm gonna sort it out for her. Eventually. Right now, we got some robots to take care of and crazies to give spacesuits to. What are these guys doing? This is some real weird freaking Billy Ray Cyrus cult stuff. I returned back to the Commonwealth because we had gathered a whole bunch of resources, and I stopped over at Sunshine Tiding Co-op to set up another supply line and dump a bunch of the resources that we had gathered here, because this is the closest settlement to the Nuka World transit place. With the supply line set up, we had enough resources to place some more turrets down to increase our defenses here, and more food to keep the people happy. Day 31, we're in the Commonwealth anyway, so I went back to Sanctuary quickly. The beds here are a little bit more comfortable, and I also wanted to build this surgery center. This is a clinic, but like a better version of like your most standard one. And once I get a settler to start working there, they can cure my ailments and my radiation sickness. I just have to pay them, even though I'm the boss. Next, I went back to the main menu and saw that they had a creation club. Honestly, after playing all this time, I had no idea that this was a thing. And of course, I want to customize my experience a little bit, but only like cosmetic stuff. Nothing crazy. Also, we're back in Concord. You know, the starting mission that we do at the museum? Yeah, we're back here. Now, you might be wondering, why the heck are we back here? Well, the answer is kind of simple. Yes, there is a bobblehead right there. Perception bobblehead. Forgot all about that one. I know people are going to be in the comment section early because they hadn't seen up to this point and telling me about this bobblehead that I had forgotten. Well, guess what? We just got it. You know, I'm all for respecting the dead, but just leaving this person in a wheelchair staring at a gravestone, that's kind of messed up. We now find ourselves at Vault-Tec Regional HQ. And if you're wondering why we're here and not back in Nuka World, well, the answer is quite simple. Since we had bought some stuff from the Creation Club, we had to come here so we could pick some of the stuff up, which is apparently in this stash. Yes, Vault suits, a lot of them. And apparently I can customize them to however I like, kinda, I guess. I don't know, but we'll head back to Sanctuary and find out. On our travels back to Sanctuary, we found Charles View Amphitheater. And no surprises here, we met another weirdo.
Do you ever wonder why things can't be the way they were in the good old days?
Why do you ask?
Because if you are that kind of person, you've come to the right place, neighbor. We call ourselves the pillars of the community.
I'm sure whatever he's selling is quite interesting, but his weird mustache is just plain old weird. And I didn't like the way that he smiles. Managed to get our hands on this mini nuke and some free bottle caps. Day 32, I took a little bit of a detour on the way back to Sanctuary, where I got to fight some raiders, including this legendary one. And this is the legendary item that it dropped, for anyone that's wondering. But the most notable discovery we found along the way was this thing. And to get to it, all I had to do was hack this terminal. No way we just got power armor. Free power armor, baby. Now, power armor is extremely useful and pretty cool, but it's just not really how I like to play. The movement's kind of clunky and it feels weird. So I'll use it while we have it, but ultimately we'll travel back to Sanctuary where we'll just leave it here and keep it on display, I guess. Okay, now to customizing our Vault suit. Obviously, I had to make the number on the back 69 and I painted it red. I like red. And this is kind of what it looks like. I don't know. It does feel kind of out of place, but it's cool that you can do this, I guess. You can't see the 69 on the back because my armor's covering it. Next, I crafted up some ammo with this factory setting thing. Then we came out to the wasteland so we could come and find Ranger Cabin. I'd been doing a bit of research on this game, and they've been showing me some locations to go and collect some things, like this survival guide. Day 33, and we're heading south. Quite a bit south too. We're heading over to Vault 95. We'll get back to the Nuka World quests eventually, but for now I wanted to do Kate's affinity relationship quests. After all, she's a cute Scottish girl with a drug problem, and we gotta help her out. Firstly, we gotta take out this legendary gunner and get our hands on the legendary weapon that he drops. Then we could enter this vault and go down the elevator, only for myself to make a silly mistake. Dying to the Assaultron wasn't the mistake. You wanna know what the mistake was? I forgot to save for quite a while. I didn't save. No, I did save, dude. So again, we had to travel all the way back down south, take out all of these gunners again, including the Assaultron that's guarding this place. But the legendary gunner gave us a different weapon this time. And this time I made sure to quick save and destroy the Assaultron before it could let its beam off on me. Psych, it didn't work. The next time we fought it, we had a little advantage. I had the high ground and a grenade. I took down the gunner corporal and looted this trunk. It was full of drugs, which is kind of ironic since we're here to help Kate with her drug problems. This vault was known for helping out drug addicts, but I'm not too sure if they actually helped them or made it worse. Either way, Kate wanted to sit in this chair and do whatever's happening now. If you close your eyes, you might imagine this is something else.
Are you all right, Kate? How are you feeling?
Strange. I feel really strange. Everything feels different. Everything feels clearer.
And just like that, Kate here is cured of her drug addictions. So to celebrate, I gave her some new armor that we picked up from the gunners we just killed. You're looking good too. I risked my life for this girl. Hopefully she likes us a little bit more now. I realized we were really close to Somerville Place, and I figured while we're here, we might as well try and unlock this workshop. Problem is, they wanted us to do a quest, which includes us coming up to Suffolk Country Charter School and clearing out a whole bunch of these scary ghouls. I'm always glad to go take out some ghouls in a school. Either way, we got some pretty decent loot and a brand new comic book.
Only gain 1% chance to avoid all damage from an attack?
This one's pretty decent, I guess. The settler at Somerville Place was glad that we cleared out the ghouls for him. I don't know why it matters to him too much because there's ghouls kind of everywhere. But hey, now we have access to this workshop. He has 2 young kids and I want to make sure that they're safe. So I just scrapped everything that they don't need and I left. I'm confident that they'll be fine. They have a strong hunky man looking after them and I cleared out all the ghouls at their high school. Day 34, we make a quick pit stop over at Sanctuary. Preston wanted to have a little conversation, asking me to be the leader of the Commonwealth. I already am the leader of the Commonwealth. He just doesn't know it yet, and not the Commonwealth he thinks it is. Next, thanks to some tips and tricks videos on YouTube, I learned that if I place down this Brahmin cage and power it up, I can trap and attract some Brahmin to our settlement. Now Brahmin, well, they poop, and their poop I can turn into fertilizer, and that fertilizer I could then turn into ammunition, which we still running low on. With that all set up now and everything handled in the Commonwealth, we're back at Nuka World. We still have some star cores that we need to find and some robots that we need to recycle. Like Mr. Star Tender right here needs to go down. Using Kate as bait, I ran around the other side to start shooting at him, but he got to me first. Also, sometimes you have to beware of oil on the floor and fire. Fire can burn you. You can die like that too. Our arch nemesis Star Tender was a little tough to take down, but with Kate's help, we managed to do it. We also managed to get some new parts that we could use on the robot workbench back at Sanctuary. Oh, and also there was a star core here. Leveled up and found the final star core for this area. We then head to the Roboco battle zone, and this is kind of fun, but kind of sketchy too. There's a whole bunch of aggressive sleeping robots here, and some star cores in some open locations, and one of these big boy robots as well. They explode every time you kill them. Kind of crazy, but whenever we see the big boy, there's always a star core nearby. Now, if it wasn't obvious in the name, yes, we are in a battle zone. And I see these 2 star cores in the distance. I rush up to it, and I get trapped in this place. GG's Bethesda, baiting me with these star cores. And the only way out of this place is to defeat some of the robots. They come out in a bunch of rounds. The first round, rather simple. These guys go down easily. Round 2 gets a little bit more difficult with the Space Sentry Breaker. Obviously, I want these star cores, so I'm gonna have to battle these guys. This time around, I'm determined to win. Even this Novatron doesn't stand a chance against me. His friend, on the other hand, well, he was stronger. Definitely stronger than the other one. 3rd time's lucky. I tried a different strategy, this time staying on the high ground, and this worked just fine. We managed to take out all the robots, and we were able to get out of this trap. I returned back to the control panel area, but we were 1 short. We just need 1 single star core to be able to complete this quest. So we came to Nuka Galaxy, where there was none found so far. We managed to get the one one that we needed, but I figured while we're here, we might as well just keep exploring this place and we could fight some more robots. Once we finally completed it, I then returned back to the control room, placed in these final star cores, and discovered that there was actually a star core sitting on the ground. We could have used this just before. We had now finished this area of Nuka World, which means we can go to this flagpole and give control of this area to any one of these 3 gangs. We gave the Galactic Zone to the Disciples. I then immediately went over to the next area to start clearing that place. Let's go to Diddy Kingdom. This place is called Diddy Kingdom. I mean Kitty Kingdom. Now, Kitty Kingdom was definitely not kid-friendly. It was filled with this gas that gave you radiation damage over time and big, scary, painted ghouls. If you thought ghouls were ugly before, now they're on a whole nother level. And they're quite the nuisance. We're getting radiation damage as we're moving through this place and having to deal with them at the same time. I'm unsure exactly how to clear this area, but I'm just following my quest marker, which leads us into this quote-unquote funhouse full of mirrors. And ghouls end up being creepier than normal. But they also die in a fun way. I then get a glimpse of the mastermind behind all of this.
Who the hell is that? He's like that's the dude.
Now we have a clear goal. We need to find this mastermind and sort him out. He's obviously not friendly. We did make it to the place that he was when we saw him, but he just wasn't there. Got a new Nuka-Cola recipe though. Now we're back out in the radiation trying to find this guy. Our quest marker sent us to King Cola's castle. This was like a Broadway theater place. I was kind of sus when entering this place, waiting for something to jump out at us, and we got to meet this gentleman. Weird ghoul in a tuxedo and a top hat. Man could teleport, and he yaps a lot.
Everything changed.
And is kind of annoying, so, you know, we had to sort him out. Oop. Go heal that bitch. Oh. As we were about to kill him though, he disappeared. Now to find this guy, we had to go into some tunnel and try and avoid getting ran over by one of these carts. We then found this man just having a chat to one of his ghoul friends. I then had a theory. Maybe I could just end this all right now.
I can do that too. Now, stop squirming. Sorry.
Wait, I mean, I thought that would have worked. Now, come on, guys. That would have been cool if it worked. Anyways, we had to search the tunnels to try and find him. Again, we didn't find him. Filled with radiation, we were sent back to King Cola's castle and directed to head over to this elevator. And this was the beginning of quite a tough moment. We got to properly meet Oswald. Yes, that's his name, the magic ghoul. His story is actually quite sad. You see, he's here trying to protect all of the ghouls because his romantic interest has gone out to the world to try and find a cure for their ghoulism or whatever you want to call it. But it's been 200 years. I don't think she's coming back. So I guess we got to fight. And this fight was really tough. Oswald could literally teleport all over the place, and his ghouls were extremely tough. A bunch of legendary ghouls would come out at a time. Every time I would weaken him a little bit, he would disappear, and his ghouls would start charging after me. And if he came within melee distance, he would do something like this. So we did have to repeat this process quite a few times. Go up the lift, listen to him yap, begin fighting and trying to get a good position.
No, you bitch!
And repeat this process over and over. Of course, I would try different strategies, different weapons, VATs, everything. With this process happening over and over and over again, I had to come up with a better plan. So I brought out the Fat Man.
Like I knew that was gonna happen.
Okay, it didn't work that time, but that was a skill issue, not my strategy issue. I did try to persuade him and get out of this in a passive, peaceful manner. It didn't work, so we had to get the Fat Man out once again. And this strategy worked for us. It was a little bit desperate, but it worked.
Surely that just obliterated him. We killed him!
We obviously took all of Oswald's stuff. Some of his gear's actually pretty good. Now we had the tough decision of deciding which gang gets this place. Obviously, because of all the colors, this place just suits the pack. We had now cleared out our second zone in Nuka World, but before heading on to our next adventure, we went back to the Galactic Zone real quick. Because periodically, the gangs will leave you some loot in these chests right here. We are making quite a bit of progress here in Nuka World, proving ourselves to be the best overboss ever. Day 37, we returned back to Sanctuary, and that Terminator robot that I built earlier, I've added some of the new parts that we had collected onto it, giving it the big Century legs and painting it red. I also made this Nuka Free Cola and the Nuka Cola, which is different because it's spelt different. I was feeling kind of tired, so I took a bit of a nap. Then when we woke up, we returned back to Nuka World. From here, we didn't head straight on into Nuka World. Instead, we headed on to the west, just outside of Nuka World, because we were here to meet the Herbologists. This is definitely a very weird quest line, and I do have the urge to just kill them all, but I'm also kind of curious to see how this plays out. My job in this very moment was to help the Herbologists get to their destination, which was this amusement park ride that was shaped like a spaceship. We couldn't continue this quest until this guy guy made it to the group. I think these weirdos are convinced that this spaceship will actually take them to space. But before we could actually get the thing to work, I needed to go get the power started. So with that, I collect this power distributor to start the engines, I suppose. We had a safe that needed to be unlocked, so Kate got on her knees again. But of course, a rather inconvenient time, she wanted to have another chat.
I'll be fine. I just need to be getting to the point. The longer we've been spending time together, the more I'm beginning to realize what you mean to me. And I'm not just talking about you watching me back or sharing a drink together. I mean more than that. Before we met, I'd never let me guard down around anyone. I didn't dare. But with you, I feel like I can let you in and see me.
Of course I do. I'm in love with you, Kate.
You're what? You said you're in love with me. I can't do that right now. I'm just not ready.
Wow, so she pulls her heart out to me. I tell her I love her, and I get brutally rejected. But we did manage to unlock her perk, Trigger Rush. It's a pretty cool name, so I guess it does something good. Anyways, we return back to the quote-unquote spaceship. I place the power distributor onto it. All the lights begin to flash on it, and then we enter the spaceship. All the hubologists take their spot along the edges here, and I take over the controls.
Oh, shit. I'm getting dizzy. This is making me dizzy IRL.
And this doesn't work out too well for the hubologists. Our girl Kate, though, she's a superwoman, so nothing happens to her.
Soft. Kate was fine the whole time. Suppose you don't need this anymore, huh?
The Hubologist questline has to be one of the most strangest and most random questlines in this entire game. I am glad we got to check it out, but dude, this is so random. Anyways, as we start to head back towards Nuka World, we run into a Deathclaw.
This is goddamn Deathclaw.
And we're a lot stronger now, so taking down this Deathclaw was a little bit easier than it has been in the past. But you know what's kind of crazy? That wasn't the only Deathclaw in this area. Oh, is that another one? A Deathclaw matriarch? Okay, look at you. Huh. Honestly, I thought that was going to be a lot tougher than it was. Before moving on to clearing the next area, we stopped over at Kitty Kingdom so we could collect our stuff from the gang's tribute stash. We picked up a ton of gear, so we brought it back over to the Fizz Top Grill to store it in our Overboss trunk. Next, I went to go visit our crazy disciple friends. She gave us a quest, but I have to head back to the Commonwealth to complete it. I then went to go visit the leader of the pack. He also gave me a quest to go kill a super mutant in the Commonwealth. Well, will you look at that? We're back in the Commonwealth. I didn't go and get a quest from the operators. I don't really vibe with them. The disciples and the pack are more my people. The disciples quest sends us over to Good Neighbor. We still haven't been here yet, so this is our first experience in Good Neighbor. This place is like the underbelly of the Commonwealth, kind of the misfits and the ragtags of the wasteland. And a prime example of how rough this place is, the moment I walk in, some dude tries to scam me.
Better back off, or you're the one who's gonna need insurance.
Well, hey, all right. We'll just say your insurance is paid up for now, okay?
After almost getting scammed, a pirate-looking ghoul walks in and handles his business. Now, to the normal eye, this would be a crazy experience. But to me, badass Raider, this ain't nothing. After having a lovely chat, we enter this building to try and complete this quest. We had to go and meet this lady and convince her to follow us. She's been giving out information to the wrong people, and the disciples are not happy. My job is to get her to put this necklace on.
Help! You're property of Nisha in Nuka Town now. Get going.
Honestly, this was rather easy. Now she's our slave. Also, before leaving Good Neighbor, of course I had to take stuff that they don't need anymore. Early morning of day 39, we're heading out to go do the mission for the pack. But first I wanted to make a quick pit stop in this place. I just have to take down a big Miler queen first. Thanks to this broken down house, I was able to take it down without any worries. But yes, there's a workshop here, so now we have access to another settlement. And this is close to the next quest, which is literally just over there. But first I wanted to place down a bed in this place. We were feeling a little bit tired and needed our beauty sleep. Once we awoke, it was time to head on out to complete this mission for the pack. I had this new scope that I wanted to check out for my weapon. When you aim at the enemies, it'll mark your target. It's pretty helpful to have and increases our range when we shoot as well. We do manage to complete this quest. Well, to be honest, I think Kate completed the quest. I was too busy getting sprayed by a minigun.
Whoa, whoa. Came out with a freaking minigun.
In this building, we met a big super mutant called Big Mac. Not like the McDonald's meal, a big juicy green hunky man. He wasn't our target for this quest, but now he's dead, so I don't think he'll be anybody's target. We were currently quite a bit south of the map, and I figured whilst we're here, we'll go and explore some areas. This will save us time in the long run, and then be able to unlock some more fast travel locations. But ultimately, I wanted to head over to this island here. Along the way, we came across the Adam Cat's garage. These are some funky rock and roll people with some cool looking power armor. They were having fun in a running race. I'm pretty sure that guy cheated. Either way, it was refreshing to see some people have some normal fun in this this world. Everybody else is a little bit uptight. To get over to that island, we had to pass through Warwick Homestead. This place can become a settlement as well, but they want us to complete a quest from, and we're kind of busy. I wasn't exactly sure how to get over to that island.
I think we gotta swim.
Yes, so I guess we're just swimming. And now I'd like to welcome you to Spectacle Island. This is just one massive island that you can turn into a settlement. But before we can do that, we need to power this circuit breaker.
Okay, generator switch, which I'm assuming I just follow this line here. Follow this line to go and sort out this generator, then we might be able to get this workshop working.
We followed this power line all the way over to this boat where we found the circuit breaker. We flicked it over and it turned on the power. There was also a fat man just sitting in the corner. No, not like a creepy version of your dad. It's a weapon in the game. Oh, and turning on the power to the island attracted this Milo Queen. We had now turned on the circuit breaker, which gave us access to be able to use this workshop, but we still needed to clear out a bunch of the Milurks that were still lurking around the island. Once we cleared out all the Milurks, I returned back to the boat so I could pick up this bobblehead. Increasing luck in this game can actually be quite beneficial for a lot of things. I don't think these people picked up the lucky bobblehead. What an unfortunate place to die. Or maybe fortunate. This seems kind of kinky.
Yo, wait. That person's spanking him? Mama's spanking daddy.
I gotta respect Bethesda for having some of the weirdest and kookiest Easter eggs in this game. The one good thing about Spectacle Island is there's so many things you can scrap here, which means we get a ton of resources. I also kind of forgot that I added this mod to the game. It's the Spectacle Island monorail. I tried to use it, but it was kind of broken. Like the monorail just wouldn't come over to us. It started coming, but then it just stopped exactly where you can see it right now. I'm kind of glad we just enabled fast travel anyway. Day 40, we're back in Nuka World, and I returned to Mason, the leader of the pack, to hand in the quest that he gave us. I honestly thought that this would have built some sort of affinity towards us, or you know, there was some other advantage than just having some sort of filler quest. I thought maybe that if you did these quests and you handed them in and you know the gang leaders were happy, that you might get something else other than experience points and maybe some bottle caps. Like, I mean, it's a good way to gain experience points and earn some caps and, you know, kind of kill some time, but I thought it would have been a little bit more beneficial for what we're trying to achieve. Now, with that being said, I suppose to do something actually productive, let's go and liberate more of Nuka World. What's this? Danger bloodworms? Oh my god! Okay, so they are bloodworms. We have some death worms up in here. This area was infested with some worms. You know those parasites that you get if you eat too much of the wrong food? Look, make sure you look after your gut health, guys, or else these things will come out of your butt. We take out this one bloodworm larva, and then we're introduced to Sheriff Hawk. Our job right now is to get the safe combination code. And in order to do that, we need to go speak to other robots, and they should give it to us if we complete a little mission for them. The fun thing about this, if you can be quite persuasive, you can skip the mission.
I already took everyone their orders. Don't you remember? You said I did a rootin' tootin' good job, partner.
Sorry, City Slicker, but you gotta go through with it.
In this moment, it didn't work, so we have to go serve some drinks to some skeletons. I believe this area is all about the roleplay and wants us to kind of play along with all their kind of semantics.
Oh yeah, Owen, Trixie, and Hank told me all about the California Gold Rush.
Hey, I'll do whatever it takes to get the safe combination. The next robot, of course, we tried to persuade ourselves out of this.
I'm in a hurry. Can we just say I won? I absolutely guarantee no one at Nuka-Cola is going to be upset.
I suppose.
It worked. Now we have all the safe combination pieces. We just need to get a key that gives us access to a mine. For us to get to the safe, we had to take out these overgrown, scary-ass ants. We managed to get to the safe and then get Mad Mulligan's key, which now gave us access to Mad Mulligan's mine, which is a peaceful little place full of treasures. Psych, it's full of your mum's favorite play toy, which includes the Bloodworm Queen. She doesn't like my sword. It's a good sword, but she doesn't like it. Strangely enough, we met a lady called Sam Teller. She's dead, so I don't know how we know her name. I've really been enjoying collecting these recipes. I just wish I could make some of them. Finally, we got to speak to Sheriff Eagle, and Sheriff Eagle confirms that we have now completed Dry Rock Gulch and could assign a gang to it. We went ahead and gave this place to the pack. Dry Rock Gulch was a kind of simple area compared to the last two places we went to. We still have 2 more locations in Nuka World that we still need to clear. Before this night ended, we went back to Sanctuary and we got our first Brahmin, which will help us produce some fertilizer. So then we can make some more ammunition. Day 41, I have new recipes for Nuka-Cola and the ingredients to make some of this stuff. Some of these Nuka-Cola recipes are actually really good. Like this one gets rid of 500 radiation points and Nuka Twin restores a ton of health. I then took a quick moment to appreciate my power armor collection, then went ahead and built this bell. What exactly do I need need this bell for? Well, it's quite simple. If I ring it, all the settlers will come to it. And with this, I can check all the new settlers to see if their jobs are assigned or what they're doing. And anybody that's been slacking around the place now has a job to do. Like a bunch of the food in our farm needs to be tended to. I had a look to see what settlements we had supply lines to and realized we were missing a few spots. I admit some of the settlements don't really have anything going on, so it's not that important, but it might be important for the later game. Next, I came over to Bunker Hill. This place you could turn into a settlement also. I then thought about it and realized that a place like this really doesn't suit what we need. I don't think I can use it as a raider later on anyway. And they're gonna want me to do a quest that I can't really be bothered doing. Instead, we headed over to Country Crossing. This is another place we could use as a settlement. But of course, these guys want me to complete a quest for them. I do admit this quest was rather simple. I just had to come over to Revere Beach Station and murder a bunch of raiders. They all have fancier names than they used to and not named just the normal raider. Raider Survivalist, Raider Waster, all those kind of fancy names. There was even one named Legendary Raider, but to me, they're just called Dead Raiders. Anyways, the whole reason why we came here was to rescue this man. He's getting a little bit of sussy time with this mannequin. No, not really. He got kidnapped by the raiders. I freed him from his shackles, but now I have to escort him out of here safely. Of course, it's never that simple, is it? I mean, it could be with VATS, but my aim's still terrible, even with VATS. Although I do love one thing about VATS. The fact that you can aim for a certain limb and absolutely wreck it. It wasn't until the early morning of day 42 that we returned the settler back to the Country Crossing. With this, we now have access to the workshop. I immediately started scrapping everything around here so that I could set this place up correctly. I'm currently wanting to set up the Commonwealth exactly how I envision it for me to be able to take it over as a raider. First, I need to set these places up correctly, and I'll explain exactly how that works once we get to that point. But for now, we need to set this place up with residents. Country Crossing was a good place. Now we're heading over to Finch Farm. But when I spoke to Papa Finch here, he told me that one of his people had been taken. And any one of the Finch's people is my people, so we can't be having none of that. Oh shit! Nukes are kind of crazy. Anyways, let's restart. Yes, these gunners have taken one of Finch's people. We got stuck having to take down an Assaultron. It almost blew our face off. Most of the gunners in here were pretty simple to take down, but the tricky part about this place was trying to figure out how to lower the drawbridge.
I need to make that drawbridge go down. Oh man, how the fuck did I do that?
I couldn't figure it out for a little bit, but then I saw this red wire and just followed that, which eventually led us to this PC terminal. Just like that, we could lower the crane and now cross the bridge up into the rest of the gunners so we could rescue this man. Now to get this guy back to Finch Farm safe and sound, which we did safely. Mr. Finch was quite happy. With that being said, I decided to make some renovations around this place. There wasn't a lot of space to build around the area, so instead I decided to just build up. This would really just be a place that I can place some beds down, so that we can have some more space for residents to move in. I don't know exactly why I decided to do this, but I decided to go up to the slog randomly. I guess while I'm here, I might as well make a supply line, which would then give me resources so I could start decking this place out. Like placing this water purifier in this pool, adding a power generator, and a whole bunch of beds so more people can move in. Back down at Finch Farm, this is what it looks like. I also managed to place down a recruitment beacon, obviously. Day 43 and we're back at Nuka World, where I go and collect all the goods from the gang's tribute chest. Then we head to the next area so we can go and clear it. This is like a water amusement park place, but it's full of Maya lurks. But they're not quite called Maya lurks. They're called Nuka lurks. I guess they like live off Nuka-Cola or something. I don't know. They do have a cool glow underneath their shell. These eggs hold little tiny baby Nuka lurks. I decided to shoot them before they can come out and kill us. Our quest in this area is rather simple. We just have to kill all of the Nuka lurks. Saying Nuka lurk just kind of sounds weird. Instead, we'll say we need to kill Assaultrons as well. Kind of weird that they have Assaultrons in a kid's amusement park. Anyways, we managed to take down all of the Nuka lurks inside the facility. Now we just had to take out the rest that were outside the back of the facility. Oh, and yes, we were now introduced to a Nuka lurk king. This was something I definitely did not expect. I hope they don't like fire or possibly being shot in the head. They can certainly sneak up on you though, and when they do, getting a direct hit from this attack, it's over. Second time around, we make sure to get the jump on him and dodge his attacks. Oh, it's a relief. Are we done? Now we gotta kill a Nuka lurk queen. Of course, the queen doesn't come out alone. No, not at all. I myself take the high ground knowing the queen can't come up here, but there's a few kings that want my butt. And they get it. Note to self, take the Nuka lurk kings out quickly, then taking out the queen from up high is kind of simple. Just like that, we got a ton of experience points, leveled up, and have cleared this area. So we can now assign this area of the amusement park to another gang. This time, we chose the operators. Although I don't really like them very much, they probably deserve an area for themselves. So we've conquered the Galactic Zone, P. Diddy Kingdom, Dry Rock Gulch with all the ghouls and the... No, that had all the bloodworms. Nuka-Cola bottling plant, Now we've got the Safari Adventure. We will get to the Safari Adventure soon, but we had to drop off some equipment once again and take a well-deserved nap. Day 44 and we're at the final place, Safari Adventure. And it was here that we met this Tarzan Khal Drogo looking guy. This hunky good-looking man is rather stupid, which gives me, the intelligent, not so hunky looking man, some hope. The darkness around his eyes suggests that he's rather tired. I would be too if I had to run away from gator claws. What exactly are gator claws? Well, they're these things. They're like mutated alligators. I guess kind of like a death claw. Anyways, this Tarzan guy's name is Cedo, and he takes us to his family. His family just so happened to be a whole bunch of gorillas. I'm just glad they're not ripping my face off.
Great. I always wanted to be best friends with a bunch of gorillas.
Want proof that these guys are stupid? They had this Nuka-Cola quartz just sitting here this entire time. Anyways, our goal right now is to clear out all of the gator claws and find a way for them to stop mutating. How these gorillas and Cedo survived here the entire time, I have no idea. These gator claws are creepy. We're looking for some sort of doctor, but apparently we need to go and find something called the Angry Anaconda. Whatever the hell that is. I looked around the area a little bit, couldn't figure it out. So I checked on my map and had no idea. Oh, big snake is a roller coaster. Yeah, well, now we know it seems kind of obvious. But how do we get there? There's a massive wall blocking us. I do try entering this cave to see if that'll get us there. Instead, we hear a large roar and find another gator claw. But what was it fighting? I threw some grenades in there because these noises were rather scary. Then we saw this legendary shaggy Yaoguai. We got a Mutant Slayer's combat knife from it, which is whatever. But Yaoguai meat's actually quite good. Once you cook it, that is. Raw, it's a bit disgusting. Continuing our search to try and find a way to get to the roller coaster, we found a dead pack member. I really want to try and get my hands on some of the Nuka World Raider armor. You can't buy it anywhere, and the only way to get it so far that I know of is off the dead body of a raider. This actually took me quite a while to figure out how to actually get to this roller coaster. So I just followed the wall until we found an opening, and this led us to exactly where we needed to go, the Angry Anaconda. We found the doctor that we were looking for. He had an untimely death. Then we found the passcode, so now we can enter the cloning facility. Of course, getting to the facility wasn't going to be easy. There was a bunch of gator claws along the way that we had to take out first. We made it to the PC, entered the passcode, and then entered the facility. And of course, this place was also filled with gator claws. We found a refrigerator with some blood packs in it. I wonder, does blood spoil? Because I'd imagine that's been there for a while. Working our way through this facility, we ran into yet more gator claws. But not just normal ones, we found this albino one. We eventually made it to this machine terminal and was able to turn off the cloning machine. Now they can't produce any more gator claws. My job right now was to go and eliminate all the remaining gator claws in this area. There was a group of us, so taking these guys down was rather simple. Just finding out how to get to some of them was a little bit tricky. That's why I climbed the top of this wall here. I knew this place was a maze and I didn't really want to get stuck down here with a gator claw. But sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do to complete the quest, you know what I mean? Deal with Cedo and his family? Yes, what do you mean by deal with Cedo and his family? Cedo had been quite kind to us, so I did suggest for him and his family to just leave Safari Adventure. As a parting gift, Cedo gave us this. Of course, I had to give him a parting gift as well. You know, I only just realized now as I'm editing this video that it's called Ghoulrilla, not Gorilla. So is it a ghoul? Also, I didn't realize that Cedo's invincible. Wait, you're supposed to be dead too. Dog, you're supposed to be dead too. I blew your head off. My man's has that plot armor. Obviously, we gave Safari Adventure to the pack. It just makes sense. They're animal lovers. This is an animal place. Come on, it's Safari Adventures. It has to be the pack. We had now cleared every area in Nuka World, and we've handed over control to all of the gangs. But we're not quite done here in Nuka World. So the morning of day 45, we arose from our bed in Fizztop Grill, and then I spoke to Gage to see exactly what we needed to do next.
Nuka World is ours. All of it. Now that we're here, let's keep this party going. I'm thinking it's time we set our sights on the Commonwealth.
Yeah, I think I like where you're going with this.
It was time to now start dominating the Commonwealth and taking over places there. But in order for us to be able to do that, we need to go and speak to this gentleman named Shank.
Liking what you've done with the place, boss. The gang certainly seem pleased with their new little kingdom. Giving the gang spots to call their own around the park. It bought you some goodwill. But providing them with their own domains, carved from the settlements of the Commonwealth, well, I can't think of a better way to solidify your place around here.
Now I need to decide on which settlement I wanted to take over as our first Raider outpost.
Kill everything in sight. Crew will be waiting for you when you get there.
Before leaving, I went over to this. I hadn't really checked this place out properly yet. The Nuka-cade. There was a sleazy looking man standing inside there. He runs this joint, but I wouldn't bring my kids here. He looks kind of weird. Anyways, this place is an arcade, and you can literally play arcade games here, like having to throw these things into those holes over there. It was harder than it looked, so I figured out a way to cheat. Like, dude, of course we're gonna do this. As if you wouldn't. There was a duck shooting thing as well, but I couldn't figure out a way to cheat on this one. I mean, it was going kind of slow, so hitting the targets wasn't that hard. Day 46, we met up with a group of the disciples out in the Commonwealth.
Hey.
Is this some sort of joke? There's no one around to kill. Guess we can at least check the place out.
Yeah, because I had already cleared this place out previously, Taffington Boathouse had no one here, so there was no one to kill. But in other news, we now have our very first Raider outpost in the Commonwealth. And of course, I had to set these guys up with all the essentials, like a water purifier for their water and turrets for their defenses. Now, there is one major problem when it comes to having a Raider outpost. They obviously need food, but you can't make them actually grow anything or harvest food themselves because it makes them angry. They're lazy raiders. So in order for us to give food to these guys, we can go and get it out in the Commonwealth, bring it back here and place it in the workshop. Or there is another way, but we'll explain that very shortly. Later on in the day, I return back to Shank to give him the good news that we have just taken over our very first Raider outpost. He, of course, now explains exactly how we can get food to our current outposts.
Normally, the next step would be provisions, convincing or beating a settlement into sending us shipments of supplies to keep our folks fed and happy.
Essentially, I can turn any other settlement that's currently occupied into a vassal settlement. I just gotta go bully them a little bit and set up some raiders there, then they'll start shipping food to our current Raider outpost. But first, I was notified that we have an issue at Taffington Boathouse, our first Raider outpost. I have a strange feeling we're gonna be fast traveling quite a lot from here on out. No, this isn't Taffington Boathouse, this is the Slog. There was an issue happening here as well. A whole bunch of robots were trying to take this place out, and I really needed to defend these guys because I actually plan on turning this place into a vassal settlement. The leader of the Slug was quite happy that we looked after him. He just doesn't know what's coming. Also, to make sure that this place ends up becoming a really good vassal settlement, I made sure to place some more food here that can also be collected and sent to our outpost. And more beds should hopefully mean more residents, which should mean more slaves. Early morning of day 47, we returned to Taffington Boathouse, where I spoke to one of the disciples.
Hey there.
Well, look who finally made it. We spotted a pretty shady group nearby. Could get company any minute, so watch your back.
She was right. I saw this flashing light in the distance, and it was another Raider group. I didn't hesitate, I just started shooting. They call themselves the Sinner Raiders, and this was a group of Commonwealth Raiders that just weren't happy that we were here. They saw us as the enemy encroaching on their turf, which is correct. We're just stronger and better and cooler. Sinner, that's my cousin. I'm Johnny, I'm Timmy Sins. We returned back to Shank, but it turns out he had already heard the news.
Heard some rumbles, this one didn't get you either. Figure I shouldn't be surprised.
What? Didn't think I could handle it?
So I suppose your recent success brings us to the next step, loyalty. Without loyalty...
He goes on to explain to us that it's our job to keep the Raiders happy, and the easiest way to do that is to keep them fed. Am I their wife or something? Now it's time for us to talk a settlement into supplying us. I could force them into it, but let's see if we can do a peaceful option. I will get to that in a second though. First, I wanted to head over to Taffington so I could build this, the Nuka World radio transmitter. It works exactly like the settlement radio where I can attract new raiders to this outpost. With new raiders expecting to come in, obviously I had to supply them some beds. Next, I went to go visit the guys at the Slog. I honestly thought I had set up the mission for me to be able to come over here and, you know, convince these guys to start working for us, but I don't know what happened. Something was kind of broken, or I'm an idiot and I just didn't do it right. It was likely option 2. So instead, I went back to Taffington and placed down an amplifier. This is supposed to help make the guys a lot happier. I also made them this booze still. Again, trying to make our people happy, and I guess booze does that. Day 49, we came over to Grey Garden, the garden full of robots. I thought this might also be a great place for a vassal settlement. But first I wanted to turn this place into a Minutemen settlement, which of course means I need to go and complete a quest for them. Now you might be wondering, why do I want to turn them into a Minutemen settlement first? Basically, when you turn any settlement into a vassal settlement for the Raiders, you can't change anything that's already there. If I turn this place into a Minutemen settlement first, I can upgrade all the farming, add some more settlers to it, do all those kind of things before turning it into a vassal settlement that will produce us more goods than it would have if we didn't do all those things. Anyways, we've been sent over to this water treatment treatment plant to deal with all these super mutants. For a water treatment plant, I don't think that this water has been treated at all. Our job is to get to all of these pumps and turn them on so they can drain all this water out. Of course, there's Mirelurks here. It's never as simple as we'd hoped, but we fully drained this facility of all the water and was able to restart the pump and completed this mission. Returned back to Grey Garden, handed in this quest, and now we have access to their workshop. Now, because this place was full of robots, I couldn't set up a supply line, so I had no resources here to be able to change anything. Before heading back to Nuka World, I stopped back at Taffington Boathouse. This was our first Raider outpost. I was proud of it, so of course I had to decorate it to intimidate our foes. Day 50 and we returned to Shank and I set up another job. I really should be setting up a vassal mission, but instead I'm going to take over one of my current settlements and turn it into a Raider outpost.
I think that one's your territory, boss. You're sure that's the one you want to hit?
Yep. I'll be completely honest, I've never gotten this far in the Nuka World DLC before, so I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just running off of energy drinks and random tips and tricks videos that I see on YouTube. I do try and talk these settlers into leaving this settlement because I was quite fond of these guys, but for some reason I couldn't get the prompt to talk to them. That wasn't the ideal. I failed it? I accidentally slipped and bashed the leader of the settlement in the face. My bad. Technically, I failed the mission, but we're still clearing this place out, so it will be a success eventually. Just not right now. I had to return to Shank and then reset up this job again. This time I chose the pack to join me. I met them out in the Commonwealth and then we started heading over to clear them out. I thought I had already cleared out all the settlements. Turned out that I hadn't. The settlers had brought some hired guns here as well. Taking them out made this fun. And Kate seemed to enjoy it as well. All I needed to do now was place down the pack flag and declare this place ours. I immediately took down the Minutemen recruitment beacon, then set up the Nuka World radio transmitter instead, and filled this place with Raider equipment to make them happy. To make sure they had enough food, I picked all the vegetables that were around this place, then placed it in the workshop with all the other food that I had already made. Day 51, and we're going out to take over another settlement, Hangman's Alley. And yes, they were quite disappointed. It was the Disciples again. They got a place that they didn't get to kill anyone. But to make it up to them, I made sure that they had the comfiest beds possible, and of course a booze still. Raider outposts can also get specific Raider dealers. You know, like criminal black market stuff. I couldn't really find a good place to place this down. I did know that I wanted Hangman's Alley to try and be like the central point for our raiders. Since it's central and we're going to be fast traveling quite a lot, this is where we're going to build. It's kind of tight though. But whilst I was building here, for some reason, I had to go back to Nuka World. When I arrived, there was tons of shooting. Something was going down.
What is happening right now?
The operators have turned their backs on us. I think they were rather annoyed that we kind of favored the pack and the Disciples. Once we took out all the operators in this area, I went to speak to Shank to see what the hell was actually going on.
Mags, William, and their whole damn crew went and stormed Nuka World's power plant.
Well, guess where we're going next? We're gonna head to the power plant so we can sort these punks out. It was here that I met up with Nisha and Mason, the leaders of the pack and the Disciples. These guys are now speaking my language.
They took their gang and muscled into the power plant. Now they got the entire place locked down. You better not let them get away with this, boss.
You need to pay for what they've done. They were dead the moment they decided to take out some of my crew.
Look, boss, this is your play. You've had our back, so we'll watch yours. But you have to swear to us that Mags and William will pay.
Well, will you look at that? Mason is a good, loyal puppy. This was now our very moment to be able to assert our dominance. We had operators from all over try and come and take us out.
Uh-oh. Get back. It's gonna blow.
We took out one of the legendary operators and scored this weapon. This is actually really good. We entered the power plant and the first enemy wasn't an operator. It was your grandma. Now your grandma has no legs. We managed to get a legendary Disciples chest piece. I think this is pretty good, but we'll check it out later. Right now, we've got to get to the roof and take out the leaders of the operators. Reminder, we're in survival mode, so that's easier said than done. Each of the Raider leaders are actually extremely tough in their own right.
Nish, move! Who's actually getting me?
Patience is certainly the key in this situation, and letting everybody else run in first as they take the attention. Trust me, if you had a little bit of skill, you would have completed this by now. I just don't. This time I made sure to take out the legendary operator before it could take us out. Then finally, we only had William and Mags to deal with. William went down first, then Mags soon followed. Mags somehow found a second wind. I don't exactly know what's going on right now.
Bro, I thought we took it down.
Obviously, I had to delete Mags in a grand fashion. Buddy went flying. Found another weird Bethesda Easter egg. Yeah, I don't really know what's going on here, but it's kind of messed up. Anyways, we got to the power plant control room, turned the power on.
You reckon nighttime's a perfect time to do this? Oh, it is. That's cool. We can see all the... Oi! We have now restored power to Nuka World and solidified our position as the Raider Overboss. Our job's not done though. We're not even close to finishing. We have so much more to achieve. Now I go and speak to Porter Gage.
Nuka World. All lit up. It's goddamn beautiful.
I mean, it's just an amusement park.
No. It's not just about Nuka World. I'm talking big picture here.
Completing this, we have now earned ourselves 2 new perks, the Chosen Disciple and the Pack Alpha. What do they do? I have no idea, but being an alpha is pretty cool. I then go and revisit Diddy Kingdom. I wanted to see if there was anything new in the tribute chest. There wasn't. Next, I went to the Nuka-Cola bottling plant. Yeah, what happens when the place is not... Oh, they're still here. Since I gave this place to the operators, I was curious to see what happened. A little bit of target practice for us. This was fun. But also there was an area inside of here that you could only access once you had regained power. I can see why. They have laser turrets and also an elevator. What exactly was down here? At first, I thought there was nothing because we searched the whole area and it was pretty bland and nothing was around. That was until we stumbled into this room. What the? Nuka quantum grenades? Oh, Project Cobalt. Yes. You can now build quantum grenades and thirst zapper multiplication. This isn't like a major discovery, but it's still kind of cool. Yeah, how do I open that? Also, I wanted to see if I can get this power armor. I thought maybe because the power line was on, I could get in there some way. All right, that's right. Follow the power line. I followed this power line and saw that it goes into this area. Yes, I was just there. I got into that room, kept following the red cable, and it led me to this. Oh no!
Hacking this is beyond me.
I can't do it. I'm sure there's somebody in the comment section is going to be roasting me saying that there is a way to do it. Yeah, well, I'm not an expert hacker, but I am an expert shooting people and killing them. So we went to the operator base, the parlor, and said goodbye to our girl, Lizzie. She's actually kind of nice, but she's now not alive. After all the chaos in the Nuka world has settled down, I went to go speak to Nisha. We had a lovely chat about how fun it is to murder people. Yeah. That's kind of crazy. And she gave me one of her favorite knives. This is actually really damn good. And we have a lot of fun with it later on. Next, I go and speak to Mason. Again, another lovely conversation about murdering people that are supposed to be our friends. Mason swears his and the pack's loyalty to me.
The pack's all in. Oh.
But also says this.
But don't go thinking we're friends. We ain't. I'd still happily kill you if enough caps were involved.
Dude is very confusing. Oh, another melee weapon? He also gives me a yellow baseball bat. Before leaving Nuka World, I was sent to the Nuka-Cade again. Mr. Fritch here asked to speak to me. Apparently, someone's come through the gauntlet and wants to challenge me for my role. He's gonna have to wait until tomorrow. I did my beauty sleep. Oh, well, will you look at that? It's now tomorrow. Time to go take out some poor punk. The challenger's name is Sabot. I can't see him other than a red dot. I'm just shooting. Man's gone invisible, but doesn't know he has a red dot above his head. Unlucky, son. Can he be invisible against grenades? I guess not. This game is always full of constant distractions. Like, bro, I've got a commonwealth that I'm trying to take over. And yes, it's finally time that we turn the slog into a vassal settlement. We're bringing the crazies with us. Yes, the fairy flavored the pack.
Boss, as soon as you say go, we'll go black and blue some settlers.
Now, the aim right now wasn't exactly to kill all the guys. Well, we were killing the hired guns, but the settlers, we want to keep them alive. I ran into an issue though. These turrets are kind of annoying. I placed them down, so it's my own fault. But getting into a gunfight with all these hired guns and the settlers was kind of nuts. Obviously, me and my pack homies dominated in this situation, and my disciple knife was kind of a lot of fun. It stabs really quick, and one hits most people. I really liked you guys before, but...
You're gonna start supplying Nuka World. Understand?
All right.
And that, folks, that is how you get your very own vassal settlement. Now, even though they're under us, we don't have access to the workbench. I don't think they like us very much either. Day 54, we returned to Hangman Alley because I had an idea. This place is kind of squishy, right? So instead of building out, we have to build up. Building this gives us a nice big open area for activities. I wanted to have these Raider dealer market stall down below, but they didn't quite fit, so we had to put them up here. We made ourselves a gear dealer, a booze joint, and an armor dealer. I was kind of hoping the armor dealer will sell us some of the Raider gear. All this time, I kept hearing gunshots in the distance, so of course I went to investigate. And there were some super mutants fighting some of our disciples, and what looks like a trading caravan. I was kind of confused on who was who. You can chill.
No, don't die, Cricket. You can't die. My disciples were trying to kill the trader caravan as well. Just chill. Oi, disciples, chill. Cricket's a good one. Now, why exactly is Cricket so important to us? Well, that's because from her, you can buy a really special weapon. It wasn't here at the time, but we do come back later to get it. Our girl Kate is specced out in some pretty decent armor too. I just wanted to appreciate it for a second. Day 55, I checked up on my settlement's happiness. Now, all the Minutemen settlements aren't very happy, but Hangman Alley is happy, and that's all that matters. Taking a look at this map, I realized we have explored quite a bit, and we've made quite a lot of progress in only 55 days. But also, this entire Commonwealth is gonna be mine. But once I take over some more settlements, which I'll do eventually, but first we're going to check out Backstreet Apparel. Why the hell are we here exactly? I bet you're confused. Well, because we're turning other settlements into raider settlements, we don't have a lot of resources for our raider settlements. So we just need to go around and collect a whole bunch of junk. We're here for all the bits and bobs. Or bits and bobs, apparently. If I get to play stabby with my new knife, that's also fun. Clutch is dead. I love this. This knife is the freaking greatest. But ultimately, we're looking for junk or scrap that we can use to help us build our raider outposts. As I was running through the city, I triggered this mission. The railroad have come through, and it's our job to get rid of them. Of course, I wanted to try and stab them all to death. It wasn't as effective as I expected. Now, we haven't properly met the railroad yet, but basically, they're just some synth lovers. Yes, you know those crazy sex robots? They love them. A lot. And Mason asked me to rendezvous with some of the pack members to come and kill them. I just forgot all about this mission. Any chance that I got to be able to use my knife, I took it. It was just way too much fun. Whilst running around the city, we found ourselves back at Trinity Tower, and we found another super mutant here, but also a whole bunch of junk that we could use. I remembered the last time we were here, we didn't collect much of the junk, so I was sure there was going to be stuff. We collected what we could and then started making the slow elevator ride down. Next, we entered this building. It was called Hester's Consumer Robotics. Now, I figured a place called Robotics will have a ton of junk that we can use. Like you would think, robots would have a ton of stuff that you could strip and use their parts for.
Right, we should get out of here.
Kate was right. We probably shouldn't have stayed. But do you think death was going to stop me? What, do you think this is real life or something? No, we had a second chance. Get it before he gets me. You need to shoot one more time. Literally shoot! We almost needed a third chance. There were certain items that we were specifically looking for, but honestly, at this stage, anything would help. Of course, ammunition was important as well. And guns we could also strip down for parts. Not wanting to travel back to Sanctuary too much and getting confused with the workshop, I placed down this steamer trunk so I could place certain items into it. But really, the workshop works just as good. Now we had enough resources to make this pick-me-up station so we could keep our raiders happy. A couple cheap decorations to help this place suit the raider aesthetic. Day 56, we did stop by Sanctuary so I could work on a bit of my armor. And it was here that Kate once again wanted to have a chat, but this chat was a little bit different.
What I was hoping you could do is look me in the eyes and tell me you still feel something too.
Of course I do. I'm in love with you, Kate.
You're what? You said you're in love with me. I didn't know. I mean, I felt something between us. But I thought it was something else.
It's official. Timmy Sins and Kate are now a couple. What does this mean exactly? Well, she says nice things to me more often, and we can sleep in the same bed. Anyways, now that we got a new girlfriend, I need better guns. Not really. I figured I'd upgrade this poisonous gun and give it to Kate. That could be our first, romantic gift. Nothing screams I love you like a poison-filled gun. Look, it's time to go back to Shank and start taking over more of the Commonwealth. We have a lot to get through by the end of day 100. Oh, and also that quest that we completed for Mason, we went to go hand it in. It's really hard to hear him with all the dogs barking and yapping in the background. Day 57, we head to the south of the Commonwealth so we can go and take over another settlement. This particular settlement we haven't visited yet. This settlement's in Jamaica Plain. Before meeting up with some of the raiders, we had to take down some ghouls. Unfortunately, Carl Everett here didn't make it, and this knife is just damn amazing. I managed to meet up with the disciples, and then we began clearing out this Jamaica Plain settlement. This area was only full of ghouls, so I used my knife the entire time. Where are you? There you are. Oh, not you. My bad. It's you. Ah, crap. Conveniently enough, the person that we accidentally stabbed had the Jamaica Plains mayor password. This will give us access to an area that we'll explore shortly. But first, let's go and unlock this workbench, officially claiming Jamaica Plain as the next raider outpost. Well, it's only really official once we place down the raider flag. Now, with raider settlements, resources are automatically shared. You don't have to set up supply lines, and this makes things really convenient. And I can get to work getting this place going. First, placing down a Nuka World transmitter, a whole bunch of beds wherever I could find a space to place them. Some of these water pumps because there's no other way to get water here other than just the pumps. And of course, some turrets for their defenses. Now you see how the food sign here is green. That means it's getting supplies from one of the vassal settlements that we've set up, and we shouldn't have to worry about food for these guys. Well, not for the moment, that is. With Jamaica Plain all set up, I wanted to go check Jamaica Plain Town Hall. We had gotten the key off one of the dead bodies earlier, so we could enter. And when you see such heavy security like this, you know something's going to be good on the other side, right? Looking back at this, I know mistakes were made. I should have harvested all of the stuff from the tripwires. It is what it is. Anyways, we kept pushing forward, making our way through this area, and eventually gained access to this, I don't know, is it like a museum-y type thing? What is this stuff?
Perfect.
2076 World Series bat? Oh, yeah, they're just memories or memoirs or stuff.
Serious? After all we went through, this capsule is the treasure.
Yeah. This treasure is kind of shitty. It was almost a waste of time coming here. Look, at the end of the day, all of these little junk resources can be used for our settlement. And to be able to take over the Commonwealth, we need as much as possible. That's why we kept exploring and tried to find another area that we can go and clear so we can get some more of these resources. Plus, the combat's starting to get really fun. You know, since I'm not dying so much and we actually have ammo. We had one goal. Junk. I just wanted to collect it all. I need it. Comic books and drugs can also be good too. At the end of this day, we headed back to Sunshine Tidings Co-op, and with the new resources that we had gathered, I started placing down this wall for security. Out of nowhere, we started getting attacked by these ghouls. I don't think the walls that we put up are working too well. I mean, they are only on one section of this place, so maybe we need to put up some more. My raiders are pretty strong though, so they took them down rather quickly, and I couldn't just have all these bodies just laying right here. So I just placed them all in a big pile. I kind of thought stabbing them and chopping them up might like make them disappear, but it doesn't. I mean, it kind of does, but I don't know if that looks any better. Now that I know that enemies are just going to walk straight in, we need to increase our defenses a little bit. These watchtowers are a great way to do that. They give you 6 points per one, as long as it's manned by a person, that is. And they're a lot cheaper than these heavy machine gun turrets. We have some more of the Commonwealth we need to take over. So it's back to Shank we go. Day 59, we meet up with the disciples so we could take over our next settlement. Again, the disciples didn't get to have any fun. This place was already empty. But hey, the disciples now own the Starlight Drive-In. So can you be really that mad? Big, massive open place like this, of course I have to build something big, I guess. Honestly, I'm not the best builder anyways, and this is kind of looking a bit scuffed. But these raiders are going to have a nice place to sleep at least in their floating treehouse looking thing. I also made an outfitter dealer here. I was curious to see what a raider outfitter would sell, but also it increases happiness in the outpost. Well, they sell outfits. Like just a whole bunch of random outfits. This makes the raiders happy, I guess. I don't know. Like what the hell do they need with a faded visor or a pompadour wig? Oh, why hello there, Sanctuary. We are back. Just for a quick stop off so we can make some more ammunition. And then we're going to head over to our central location in Hangman Alley. More raiders are joining us here, so I had to place down some more beds. And more raiders means more workers that we can put in these stores. Day 60, which settlement are we going to take over today? Well, it's not a very close one. And we have to do a little bit of walking to get there. That's why it's already so late in the day. Along our journey to the next settlement, we had to take down a sentry bot, which always seems to make a satisfying explosion, and a legendary Assaultron Dominator. Can you start shooting, please, Kate? Now Kate's our official girlfriend. She's all too prissy to actually fight. Useless. You know, I had no idea that this was a thing. We leveled up. Oh, shit. I thought it was only the big robots that did that. Anyways, we went and met up with the pack so we could take over this next settlement. Now, if you're familiar with Fallout, you know exactly where we are. But if you're not, this is Croup Manor. It's at the very southeast of the map, and it's filled with a whole bunch of ghouls that we need to take out before we can take over control of this place. And ghouls are very fun to stabby. That one went down with ease, even though it was legendary. The final ghoul that we had to take down was in this waterlogged basement. I freaked out and accidentally threw a Molotov in Kate's face. She's okay though. She's tough. Insert epic feral ghoul kill. Croup Manor is now owned by the pack. We have a lot of resources now, so of course we do the usual routine. Beds, turrets, and God's nectar, water. Day 51, there was a settlement quite a ways away that I wanted to go and check out. This is Egret Tours Marina, and this is pretty far away from our current raider outposts and settlements. I needed to get control of this place quickly, but there was some old grumpy lady blocking my way. She was quite paranoid, and she had a face of a bulldog. So, yeah. Anyways, back to what we were doing. We now have control of this workshop. I want to set this place up eventually as a vassal settlement. And for it to be a worthwhile vassal settlement, it needs to have a farm, a lot more settlers, just a lot more going on than it currently has. Unfortunately, without a supply line currently set up to here, we don't really have the resources to make this happen. Before setting up the supply line in Sanctuary, we stopped over at Hangman Alley quickly. It's literally on the way, and we had some stuff we needed to drop off here anyway. Day 62, and we're at Sanctuary, where I took a look at my armor modifications and was pretty happy with what we had but I think I want something else. I then scrapped a bunch of weapons that we found in the wastelands. We need all these resources we can get back from them. I did change my armor around a little bit, taking off the Vault suit for now. This kind of looks a bit chunky, but it does give us better stats. Finally, I got the doctor here to cure my health issues, and then I fast traveled back to Nuka World. Yes, I did forget something quite crucial. I forgot to set up a supply line. But there was a good reason why I came back to Nuka World. When I was looking at the armor bench before, obviously I wanted to change my armor out. And personally, my favorite armor is on the Disciples. Specifically, the armor worn by Nisha. So I snuck in behind her, waited till I was completely hidden, then I pickpocketed her. But I didn't have access to her armor. This is when I realized that you actually have to unlock a certain perk so you can steal armor right off the back of people. So I guess for us to be able to do that, we need to start leveling up so we can unlock that perk. Killing challenges that try and challenge us as the Raider Overboss is a good way to get experience points. These guys are typically tougher fights, which usually means more experience points. We get 143 experience points for taking him down, and then 98 experience points for completing the quest. I mean, the free power armor is also good. Yes, it's time to go claim another outpost.
I want to claim another outpost for our gangs.
To get to this outpost, I had to fast travel to 10 Pines Bluff. The outpost that we want to capture is not too far away. The pack is the gang that's coming with us this time. And yes, we're taking over Outpost Zimonja. I'm sorry, Boomer, but I need you to move out real quick. I got the high ground, Boomer. Oh, my aim's gonna... Bro, that aim is bad. Bro, you just punched my guy? Well, I'm gonna shoot you in the head. It's not the biggest outpost. No, not at all. But after that raider died, it is now ours. Just like every other place, we placed down all the essentials that we need for here. I hadn't done much exploring around Outpost Zimonja. I didn't know exactly what we could find out here, so I just went out looking. We ran into some Mirelurks, and then this Annihilation Sentries, some Rust Devils, and even a massive Behemoth Super Mutant. And that's when we stumbled into General Atomic's Galleria. And this place had a whole bunch of scary robots. No, not really. They weren't that scary. They were kind of weird.
Please take a number for faster service.
Now, some of these things were still working as if it was just a normal average day. I think they missed the memo about this whole nuclear war thing. Mac here wants me to go around against a robot. It's kind of unfair. He's got 3 arms and made of metal. But then I realized I had a gun. It's kind of like playing scissors, paper, bullet. Either way, I thought to myself, hey, this is going to be a lot of resources. Robots always give us good stuff and a lot of steel.
Yeah.
I just love it when Kate breaks into things. This is why I love her. Especially when she doesn't realize we actually got in.
This lock's pissing me off.
I had now returned back to Sanctuary. This time, I didn't forget. I went straight to a settler and set up a supply line. With the supply line set up, we returned back to Urget Marina and began working on this place. It's not really got the best location for a farm, but we can work around it. Firstly, we're going to need people, so the recruitment beacon went down. We need a lot of workers to create a lot of food for our raiders. We had enough resources to place down the biggest water purifier as well. This should solve our water issue for a while at least. And for the food situation, we're going to use these garden plots. I placed down a whole bunch of them and plant all the food that I had brought with me, which wasn't all that much. I do realize now that I should have gathered a whole bunch of mutt fruit from Sanctuary, but I kind of forgot. I then went and had a peek at Vault 88. It's been a while since we've been here, and there's a whole lot of new settlers. Even this guy that looks like he's been part of the Pride Parade. These guys needed a bunch more water and some food. So of course I set this up for these guys. Now you might be wondering, why am I doing this, since I can't use this as a raider outpost at all? Well, that's because Clem's just so damn cute. No, not really. This place actually attracts a lot of settlers, and we can move those settlers to other locations once we have them here. Day 65, and we have a new settlement to take over. We're going to be doing this a lot. We're taking over the entire Commonwealth. We need Shank's help. But first, I was once again summoned back to the Nuka-cade. Apparently, there was another person that wanted to fight me. I couldn't be bothered this time, so I just said, nah.
There's not going to be a fight. Set them free.
Damn, really? Well, you're the boss. Won't pretend I'm not disappointed, though.
I didn't think it meant that much to these guys. I got other things to do. We're trying to take over the Commonwealth. Anyways, the next location we're taking over is not Warwick Homestead. No, we're just here for a quick stop off. Yeah, I want their mutt fruit. We've learned that it's really good stuff to have. But yes, the raider outpost that we're going to go get our hands on is Spectacle Island. Because we're unallied with the place again, we can't actually just fast travel over there. So of course I had to swim, but the pack was already here waiting. Lucky them. Again, there was no one here to fight, so the pack was disappointed, but hey, they got a massive island to themselves. Like, are you really that disappointed, bro? With this raider outpost unlocked, we now unlocked a new perk, and we can build tribute chests. Spectacle Island is such a massive organization. Like, you have endless options that you could do here. I just wish that I was more creative. These guys need a place to sleep. They're living in a box with some beds. We've been farming a lot of resources though, so they're gonna be fine for water at least. I mean, come on, look at this. This is way better than what they could have had anywhere else. Maybe, I don't know. know. Every time I have to travel through this area, I always have to stop at Hangman Alley. This time, I wanted to go check out to see exactly what these guys could sell. The gear vendor sells a lot of Disciples armor. Again, I like the way that this stuff looks, but the stats just aren't better than what I'm wearing. Maybe the armor vendor might have something of use. And she definitely has really good stuff, but nothing that we're really interested in right now. I think that's the advantage of playing in survival mode. We kill so many legendary enemies that we get our hands on really good armor and stuff anyway, that buying stuff is kind of pointless. Day 67, we're back at Urgot Marina with a whole bunch of mutt fruit. Yes, we're going to plant so much of this stuff that they're going to look after all of our raider outposts. We also have a whole lot of new settlers here now too. We sent some people down here from Sanctuary a little bit earlier, and we put them to work straight away farming all of this mutt fruit. Urgot Marina is quite far away, so we traveled back to Nuka World, but we wasted most of the day. That's the biggest catch about fast traveling. It wastes a lot of time. But the Commonwealth's massive, so it is what it is. Day 68, and we're going to take over Oberland Station. Once again, these settlers brought some hired guns, so this made this fight way more fun. Where are you hiding? Why are you hiding down here? Oh, sorry. It didn't take much, but now we own Oberland Station. Once again, we placed down all the essentials, but also a tribute chest. I then set up this defensive wall. I figured because Oberland Station's quite small, this would be a lot cheaper and easier to set up than other places would be. Also, these watchtowers are great for getting your defense points up. We won't be needing any of this food since the lazy raiders won't use it anyway. Instead, this will be the center of the outpost where the raiders could sleep safely. Grey Garden was kind of nearby, so we stopped here to pick some mutt fruit. Then I ran around the local wasteland to get my hands on some juicy loot. I could hear a minigun going off in the distance, so I went to go investigate to go see what was happening. This is when we ran into Reggie Balala.
What the crap?
And a whole bunch of glowing rad roaches. I believe this is a random unique encounter. Well, I'd hope so. I'm pretty sure I've run past here before and I've never seen him. Either way, with our Overseer Guardian, we managed to take this guy down. Is that a guy in a vault suit? Dude, what are you doing here? My mans. Get to safety, son. There's weirdos about. Anyways, Reggie here had a unique armor set. And no, I don't mean the synth left arm. We could literally take the helmeted cage armor that he's wearing. I don't think you can get that anywhere else. He had a lot of heavy stuff on him, so we're going to fast travel back to Sanctuary. How the hell do we do that if we're over encumbered? We've leveled up so much that it's a perk that we can now use, where you can fast travel while still over encumbered. It really helps us out when we're trying to move resources around from different settlements and outposts. Also, I had purchased some Disciples armor, and I wanted to upgrade it and at least pocket it so we could have some more, like, inventory space, but it wasn't an option. We needed to unlock the Armorer and the Scrounger perk first. Even this late into the game, there's so many perks that we need to be able to progress. One perk that we did unlock properly though was the Pickpocket perk. So yes, we're trying to steal ourselves Nisha's helmet, obviously without her knowing. Our first attempt failed. That's okay, we would just reload and try again. Second attempt, we managed to grab some stuff, but as soon as we grabbed the helmet, she got angry. That's okay though. I'm just going to keep reloading until we get it. You see, every item has a percentage chance of being able to loot it. And depending on the rarity of the item or the stats of the item, that changes how much the percentage is. So some items will be 90%, some 50%, some probably less. Either way, I'm getting this bladed helmet. We managed to get the helmet and get away with it. So of course, wearing the helmet, I went up to Nisha to go have a chat. We got to see her face and she was looking right at me wearing her helmet. I mean, her helmet has no eyes on it, so maybe she's blind. Of course, with our new acquired skill, I couldn't just leave here with nothing else. My man Savoy has a pretty cool helmet too. Problem is, there's too many people around, so they can all see me and it's really hard to hide. We crouch right behind Savoy and then just wait until we see the hidden mark. The moment we get a chance, I strike. I try and take the best gear that he has and his spiked helmet, but it triggers him. Of course, I'm not going to give up until I get it. Like if it's only a game of percentage, we just have to keep trying until it happens. Yes, like right now, we got it. We literally got it. I really think now we're starting to look the part. Scary Raider Overboss. There was also some other armor pieces I wanted to try and get, but to get it, we had to come back to the power plant in Nuka World. This place had reset, so there's more ghouls here than there were before, and they were strong. Ooh, I don't think I saved. The game's difficulty definitely scales with you as you progress, which I do genuinely enjoy. If it just got super easy towards the end of this, I would have got bored. Anyways, the armor that we're after was on the roof. Yes, we're looking for Mags and Williams armor. The fact that they have the operator heavy armor, surely it's going to be pretty decent, right? And I was correct. Most of it's better than what I'm currently wearing, but it is heavy. Mags was wearing lighter pieces and it wouldn't encumber us as much, but it just wasn't better than what we were wearing. Also, these guys are our enemies. They don't deserve clothes. Day 70 was just one of those days that we need to run a bunch of errands. We have a lot of outposts and settlements that we need to take care of now. They all require a lot of stuff to stay happy. Like this drive-in needs some more beds. I went to Sanctuary to go pick a bunch of mutt fruits so we could plant them elsewhere. Stopped at our very first Raider outpost, Taffington Boathouse, to place down a generator, add some more beds because there's more people here. And since there's more people, we can give them more jobs, like the scavenging station. I placed down a bunch of these and then set people to, start scavenging the wastelands, bring us back some some more resources. Obviously, we need to keep them happy with a pick-me-up station, and I need to keep me happy by putting down a tribute chest so they can give me all the free loot. I placed down some defensive walls here. Since there's only kind of one entry point, I figured this is all we're going to need. We have the guard towers here too, and the walls just clip right on. Kind of. It's still a little scuffed. Day 71 starts with us pimping out Hangman's Alley a little bit. We've been farming so many resources that now we can do a bunch of stuff like this. I then went down to Urgot Marina to plant some more crops that we had gathered. We're starting to run out of space, but we need a lot of crops if we want to turn this place into a successful vassal settlement. Anywhere that there is dirt, I'm placing down these mutt fruit trees. With us conquering the Commonwealth comes with a lot of extra tedious tasks, and in some of these settlements we got to get creative just to keep these guys happy. Like this little room that we're building right now will eventually be used for more beds. For our future vassal settlement Urgot Marina, they need some more settlers. We return to Vault 88 where there's a whole bunch of spare settlers that don't really need to live here. So if they weren't currently assigned to a job, I send them to Urgot Tours Marina. It's now day 72, and yes, I decided to spend the night at Vault 88. I also thought to myself, maybe I can get a bunch of resources from these guys since I can just scrap everything around this place and it's so damn big. But as I was scrapping stuff and exploring, I came across a new area that I've never discovered before. Yes, we're still in Vault 88, and this door leads out to the Commonwealth. Admittedly, a lot of the stuff in here would make some good scrap resources, so of course I scrapped it. Then curiosity got the better of me and I had to check out exactly where we are in the Commonwealth. University Point Pharmacy? Where the heck are we? University Point. Where is it? What the? Dude, this is nowhere near the start of Vault 88, dude. I heard shooting going on in the distance, so of course I had to go investigate. We ran into a bunch of unfriendly synths. Being that they're robots, I wasn't sure how my knife would fend against them. It did pretty good. Moving on, we went to Spectacle Island. Why exactly did I come here? Well, I wanted to unclaim this settlement. I was kind of worried that because it's so damn far away from everything that I couldn't keep the raiders happy. I unclaimed it, but I don't think it worked. I'm stuck with these guys for the rest of this playthrough, so I guess I got to find other ways to keep these guys happy since I'm not too sure I can get them food without a vassal settlement nearby. There's so much space here, maybe we can come up with something. Either way, I placed down this platform here and put some stores down. This is a pack settlement, so I figured maybe I can get some pack gear from these guys. And these other stores help produce happiness, like the Outfitter store and the Chem store. The food symbol was green though, so maybe they were still receiving food from one of the vassal settlements. I just didn't quite understand exactly how it worked. I thought a vassal settlement had to be really close. I don't know. Either way, all I'm trying to do is place things down that will keep their happiness up. I do not want the pack revolting on me. Day 73, we took a break from conquering the Commonwealth and went to Diamond City. I came here to pick up some supplies for my settlements, to fix up my radiation poisoning, and to stare at ladies' butts. No, not really. I wanted to practice my pickpocketing skills. Now, in the real world, stripping people naked like this is an offense, but in a video game, it's hilarious.
Hope you didn't run into any trouble getting here. That bridge across the river.
No, we're
Super
good.
mutants use it as an ambush.
On the latest threat from the instant.
Yeah, no, we're not doing that to her. Whenever I saw a ragstag out in the wilds, I made sure to kill them. Once you've cooked ragstag meat, it gives you a weight buff, so you can hold more items. Day 74, and did you know there's a settlement in Nuka World that you can actually take over? I'm pretty sure this location is a settlement. From what I've read online, right over here in the Red Rocket. Yeah, Nuka World Red Rocket. With a workbench. Which gang do you want to control this? Huh, knew it. For the pack. Yeah, this is a pretty cool addition to the Nuka World DLC. I'm just kind of confused on its purpose. Like, what does it do with everything? I don't know. Is it just a place that you can have people at and it doesn't really do anything? I then heard some shooting in the distance and it looked like some operators were fighting our disciples. I came over to help out, but turns out these guys don't really need my help. Regardless of whether this raider outpost does anything or not, I still set it up with all the requirements. Like, does it count towards us taking over the Commonwealth? I don't know. Day 75, we were called to Grey Garden because apparently they were in danger. There was also fertilizer laying around, so I took it for our bullet manufacturing system. Anyways, we had the mission to help defend Grey Garden, but nothing was happening. Everything was all good. I even used VATS to scan the area. Everything seemed fine. Then all of a sudden, we heard the noises that we've been waiting for. The raiders just came out of nowhere. But even once we killed these guys, we didn't get a notification that this quest had ended, so we had to go hunt down another raider. Obviously, there's one around somewhere. VATS can be really handy in these kind of situations. Ooh. Just dodge that one. We're back in Hangman Alley, and honestly, I kind of don't like the way that this place looks. And it's not very functional. I had a settlement mod that can help me scrap the entire settlement, well, all the pieces that I have built, so I could start from scratch. And basically, we're doing the same thing. We're going to build up, but this time I'm going to build up even taller than I did previously. And this upper deck of the settlement is only going to be for beds and just so we can house the raiders. Since Hangman Alley is our main central place of operations, I wanted to make sure I had every single store here. This place needs to be properly decked out with everything that a raider could possibly need. Having the roof a lot higher made this place feel a lot more spacious. And I was starting to like the way that this place looked a lot more. But then I ran into a problem. We were running quite low on cloth, which means I don't have enough beds for everybody. So with that, I stopped over at Urgan Marina once again to plant some more of this mut fruit, but also so I could pick up some cloth that I'll take over to Jamaica Plain because they're running out of beds too. I really didn't think we were going to be running out of resources this badly, this early. But I suppose that's what happens when you split up the settlements from Raider outposts to Minutemen settlements. Every now and then I then go into my Pip-Boy and double check that we're actually up to the day that I think we're up to. So I can confirm this is indeed day 75. Day 76 and Raider happiness is on our mind. This becomes a chore rather quickly. Like when we can gather enough cloth, we then have to head back to the settlements and put some more beds down because the raiders just keep pouring into the Commonwealth. We're back at Spectacle Island. This time I wanted to check what gear I could buy from the pack members. The pack automatic rifle looks pretty cool, but it's still not better than our Overseer's Guardian. I managed to buy some pack armor and try it on. It was only really the under armor. It increases our charisma and our endurance by 1. Do I look ominous? I feel like I look ominous. Anyways, it's now day 77 and we're summoned back to the New Arcade Arcade once again. Another sucker made it through the gauntlet. Unfortunately, Rage here couldn't even make it out the door. Super mutants aren't really that super. Not against my Overseer Guardian. Drumroll please, which is the next settlement we are taking over? It's time. It's time that we take over Urgot Tours Marina and turn them into a vassal settlement. Of course, because we've invested so much time into the settlement, there's a lot of settlers here. So subduing these settlers might be tough. Oh shit. I had supported these guys in helping them build a settlement that they can all love, and now I'm stabbing them in the face. Being the villain is so much more fun than being the hero.
You're gonna give me and my gangs back in Nuka World everything we ask for. Got it?
Yeah, sure. You'll get your supplies, all right?
Whoa, I thought that was a dude. Now this settlement should produce a ton of food and should keep all of our raiders happy. I am still worried about Spectacle Island because it's still quite a distance away from here, but we're just gonna have to wait and find out and see what happens. After all, it's time to take over another outpost. Psych, no, that's not what we're doing. Having to always come back to Nuka World is kind of a time waste, so I've decided to send Shank all the way to Hangman's Alley, which is a more central location so we don't have to waste too much time traveling around all the time. The days are moving much quicker now since we have to fast travel so much. Eventually, we're gonna have to try and find a way to take over Sanctuary as well as a Raider outpost. But for now, it's just a central hub since we have the machinery here that we need to make some more bullets and a workshop full of all the stuff that we've collected over these days. Next, I loaded it into this power armor. I know I said I don't like using the power armor, and I don't, but I actually need it in this situation. There's a particular quest that I need to complete, but it's in a radiation zone, and I'm pretty sure power armor protects you from radiation. Welcome to the edge of the glowing sea. What are we searching for again? Track the Enclave homing beacon from Glowing Sea. Oh yeah. Yes, we are on the Enclave missions right now. I still got a bit of beef with the Enclave from when they wrecked us earlier in this 100 days. Now I've come back with a vengeance and a much stronger weapon and a lot of perks and levels, and I'm just better, okay? Firstly, they were hunting me down. Now it's my job to hunt them down. The prey has become the prayer. Wait, how's it go? Oh, the predator. Yeah, the predator. That was until I opened up this door and had 2 people with power armor there. Be careful what doors you open. The best thing about redoing this situation is that we know what to expect and where all the enemies basically are. I see you. Oh, crap. That's like one down. Yeah, that was too easy this time. Oh, I can hear them coming. Where are they at? Oh. What the? Can I shoot you down? Go down, go down, go down. Yeah, see you later, bird. Oh, he almost got me. Couple power armor soldiers made it off of the bird, so I had to take them down. And with this, we have completed the Echoes of the Past quest line. The Enclave have now left the Commonwealth. From here, we went back to Hangman Alley, and this is where I dropped off the power armor. All the guns that we got from the Enclave, I scrapped them. I thought I would have got better resources back, honestly, but this kind of sucked. Everything else I just sold to these criminals. I really needed the bottle caps. Why? So that I could open up some more stores. Oberland Station. Why are we here? Well, because this was the first place that we had a tribute chest at, and I wanted to see see if it was full, and it was. Honestly, these tribute chests are really damn good. Some of the stuff we got out of this is really decent stuff. Day 80, we started heading southwest of Oberland Station. I hadn't really explored much of this side of the map, and I wanted to go and, you know, check it out. We found flooded cities that was full of ghouls and an overpass with some gunners on it. Of course, gunners typically have some pretty good loot there, and I wanted to make it mine. Oh crap. Oh crap, oh crap. Damn, that was annoying. So I quick saved in a rather awkward position, meaning I only have seconds to try and get out of this situation. Okay, I've got an idea. The thing's right there. If we just go down and left, down and left, down and left, and we should get out. All right, go. Get out of my way, Kate. Go. Yes, we got away. Oh crap, gunners. Oh, my aim. Where the heck's that Assaultron? Oh, there you are. Go on. Oh, Kate's down. You'll be right, Kate. You'll get up soon. Sometimes you get put in sticky situations in this game. You just got to reevaluate your strategy. And with that, we leveled up and managed to take all the good loot from these gunners. We discovered a building filled with raiders, one wearing a power armor set. The power armor set's a little bit heavy for us to carry, and we don't really need it. Further down the ways, yes, that is a Deathclaw. This building stopped it from being able to get in, which means we could kill it. I almost got blown up by another freaking landmine, so I took shelter in this Natic police department. There was a few skeletons on the ground, but there was also a book return terminal. Kind of crazy that there's a book return terminal in a police station. I mean, I suppose education and reading is good, but a police station? As I was searching through the police station, I heard Kate outside in a gunfight. She was fighting some operators who had some prisoners with them. Of course, these guys are now our enemies. Show you how it's done. Damn it. Got a little bit confident. Anyways, this time around, we'll use a gun. Yeah, it's more effective. Poor operators, now they're dead. These prisoners are now free. In my opinion, for the Nuka DLC, it'd be really cool if we could enslave people to do things at our settlements, like farming. Like vassal settlements kind of work, but this doesn't. Now, because I can't do anything with these prisoners, yeah, this had to happen. Once again, we're distracting ourselves just a little bit. There was a mission I wanted to go complete. Again, I got my ass beat earlier in this playthrough. I need to go and make up for it. Last time we were here, these robots absolutely wrecked me. This time around, they're not lasting very long. We just weren't prepared last time. Indeed, preparation is key. Quick refresher, this particular questline that we're on is a part of the Automatron DLC, which is a pretty fun little side quest if you ask me. And in this particular side quest, we were here to meet this guy and take the Mechanist drive. We're trying to find the Mechanist, but we need Ada's help to do that. Day 81, we're back at Sanctuary, where we need to speak to Ada.
Ada?
I'm relieved to see you've returned. I need you to install this beacon within me so we can use it to our advantage.
Until we finish this questline, I'm going to make Ada our companion. So we're going to have to say goodbye to Kate for a little while. She can chill out at Sanctuary. It's nice here. Anyways, I made some special modifications to Ada so that we can find the Mechanist. I also upgraded their armor and painted them red, because red's cool. We then found ourselves in the wastelands where we had to destroy this robot. Another one of them robo brains with the part that I needed so we can find the Mechanist.
Here you go, Ada. One slightly dented but still functional radar beacon.
We now find ourselves at this satellite dish, where we find another raider group called the Rust Devils. What makes this raider group different? Basically, these guys use robots for their nefarious means. These guys are giving evil Elon Musk vibes. Their encampment is hella creepy as well. I had to use this PC terminal so I could gain access to the building. Yeah, this outside area is only the beginning. Once we arrived inside, we were told we need to find the Robo Brain, which sounds kind of creepy. Of course, this was never going to be simple. We had to take down a bunch of these Rust Devils and their robots. Ada helped out quite a bit. She's a bit of a beast. These Rust Devils kept coming out of nowhere. Again, the Overseer Guardian carries us through this entire 100 days. We eventually made it to the Robo Brain. What is that? Is that like a throne? Where's the Robo Brain? Hello, Robo Brain. Where you at? Oh, right there. Got the indicator over your head. What the frick?
You don't look like one of the Rust Devils. What are you doing here?
Getting ready to crack open that dome you call a head to get your radar beacon.
My radar beacon?
For context, we're looking for all these Robo Brains because they have radar beacons that will help us find the Mechanist. Either way, this Robo Brain was kind of on our side.
I'm willing to provide said access, but you'll have to fulfill 2 simple conditions.
All this brain wanted was a body and some freedom, which I could understand. So I disconnected the Robo Brain called Jezebel off of this computer set, and of course the security came out. This big machine was called Ahab, but now it's called Ahad, like it had like past tense because it's dead. Okay, sorry. Of course, getting out of here alive wasn't going to be simple. And the Soltrons make me hella nervous. Except for when we get to loot their bodies. That's always fun. We were carrying Jezebel around and she was yapping the entire time.
Estimate a 65% chance of making it out of here.
65% is not too bad in my opinion. I then realized why Jezebel had her doubts. Oh my god! Holy crap, what the frick is that thing? Oh! Ivy. Ivy. You don't want to do this, Ivy. Go, Ada. Go, 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 go. Yeah, and what? The lovely Ivy here had some legendary power armor and then this thing. A Tesla rifle. Interesting. We ended up proving Jezebel wrong and we got out safely. Day 82 and we're back at Sanctuary fulfilling our promise to Jezebel. Well, I would, but there's a problem. I don't have enough resources currently. Since we've been taking over settlements and turning them into raider outposts, we've lost a lot of our supplies through the supply line chain. I went over to Sunshine Tidings Co-op real quick because apparently they were getting attacked. I think they already handled it. I don't know. I couldn't quite figure it out, so I had a nap. When I woke up, I heard some more gunshots. Oh, here we go. Holy crap! What happened there? Oh, that was it. Okay. Whilst I was here, I went through the workshop to see if they had the resources I could use to take back to Sanctuary to fix up Jezebel. I didn't write a list down or anything, so I returned and yeah, I didn't have enough. So for a fun little excursion, we returned to the Corvega assembly plant where everything had respawned and farmed this for resources. You can set it up that certain items glow if that's what you're looking for. It makes finding exactly what we need much easier. And surprisingly, this place was just full of useful junk. And obviously we continued our search around the local vicinity. It doesn't hurt to grab as much as we can anyway. We do have the space now that we can fast travel even when encumbered. Day 83 and we had enough resources to get this done. I may be a badass raider, but I always fulfill my promises. And there we have it. Jezebel. It's a pretty basic rig, but we don't have the resources to be able to pimp her out completely. Either way, it's a robot brain that used to be plugged into a stationary NASA computer. Like, bro, be grateful.
Yes, I trust you've completed your business with Jezebel.
Indeed we have, Ada. Now it's on to the big mission. It's time to go hunt down the Mechanist. Apparently he's behind this door. And I believe he is. It's just not that simple, of course. We need Ada's magic technological powers to get us through some of these doors. Whoa! Holy high-tech. Holy high-tech, Aroni. Okay, Robot 007, it's time that we go and destroy the Mechanist. Of course, the Mechanist had some pretty tight security. But this time we saw the laser tripwires. I made sure to harvest all the materials from it. That took us quite a while to get through, and I think I accidentally triggered the traps anyway. Shit. Ada, you good? We own La Donkey Kong, baby. Ada, get up. Ada, get up. We encountered a whole bunch of different variations of robots. The Mechanist is quite creative with his designs. This guy really takes his security seriously. Like, there's more security doors here than there is in a vault. Honestly, it's kind of ridiculous. Like, dude, it's day 84 and we're still going through these doors and shooting up more of these creatively built robots. Trying not to die, of course. We then go through this final door and get to meet the Mechanist in person. Well, kind of. The coward's hiding behind this bulletproof glass. Yeah, this guy here, he's the Mechanist. Really giving weird supervillain vibes. He sends waves of robots at us to try and kill us. But honestly, Ada's a bit of a G, and these robots don't really like my Overseer Guardian. We destroyed every single robot that the Mechanist threw at us. He really doesn't have a chance.
I will not rest until I see the Commonwealth free of you.
Free of me? Apparently I'm the bad guy in this situation. Another villain with a hero complex. Well, actually, in this situation, I am the villain. Let's see if we can do it with a knife. Oh, he wants to fight me one-on-one as well. He finally comes out and tries to fight me himself. He goes full Predator mode, but I can see the little squiggles in the air. Knife early, and you're invisible, you punk. Building robots and making them your slaves is one thing, but having human brains in them, that's kind of weird. I don't think that's how you use the switches.
The Mechanist is dead. One less crazy in the Commonwealth.
A just end for the pain and suffering inflicted.
Who would have thought? Ada here has a conscience and feelings, I guess. Anyways, I found out that this place, the Mechanist Lair, is actually a settlement. Not sure if I have any purpose for it right now, especially because I do actually know that you can't use it as a Raider outpost. But hey, I'll check the place out. We had now completed the Automatron DLC. So technically, we've completed 2 DLCs, Nuka World and Automatron. We were pretty close to the Taffington boathouse, so I quickly stopped over here so I could store some of the stuff that we collected in the workshop. We had a whole lot of disciples move in. It's getting quite full. Next, I stopped at Hangman Alley and checked the tribute chest, which was full. There was even this legendary item in it. I ran into Cricket in the Wastelands, and this time she had the item that I was after, the legendary machine gun, the Spray and Pray. I was really curious about it. I'd heard good things about it looking through YouTube. Of course, I had to purchase it and test it out immediately. Holy shit. Yeah, I think we can have some fun with this gun. Day 85, we returned back to Sanctuary with some really cool loot. So cool, in fact, we hooked up some of these settlers. Sturgis is now the Mechanist. Yeah, I stole his armor earlier, and now Sturgis has to wear it. I then turned Jun Long, the Crybaby, into something that looks a little bit cooler than his sad-ass face. We had been distracted for a little while that some of our Raider outposts now need some attention. Outpost Simonja needs some more beds. It's not a big outpost, so we have to get kind of creative with this build. We might not be able to build outwards, but we can always build up. Close to Outpost Simonja, I heard some shooting. I went to go investigate, and we found an Enclave outpost. I thought I got rid of these guys already. I guess I hadn't. One of the Enclave soldiers was a legendary variant. Not this one. This was just a normal Tesla cannon. It was this guy. We got the Instigating Lever Action Rifle. I don't think it's that great, but we got one. There was also another full set of this Enclave armor. And for the people that care, we did get this as well. It's just a cosmetic thing, but I'm sure it's cool. I have to personally admit, this Enclave armor looks pretty cool, and I want it. It's the fact that it belongs to somebody else. That's what I crave. This power armor is gonna live at Hangman's Alley. This is our new home after all. This is where it belongs. I needed to check to see exactly what other settlements I need to take over. Again, our goal is to take over every single settlement in the Commonwealth. There's still a few locations we're still yet to take over, so I guess it's time to get to work. This time, we're setting up a vassal settlement. So day 86, we're at Warwick Farm to take over this place and turn it into a vassal settlement. I kind of thought with turning this place into a vassal settlement should solve our problem with all of our supply issues with all the other Raider outposts. That's assuming I can actually get to this last person. I could see the marker for him, but I couldn't figure out how to actually get to him. I thought maybe there was like an underpassage or something that I couldn't get to. I looked around everywhere. Maybe there was a secret hatch that I could get into, or I don't know. In the end, I just tried to shoot at whatever poked through the ground, and it worked.
Good news, friend. You've been selected to supply the gangs of Nuka World. Or else.
What?
Warwick Homestead is now ours. I realized what day it was, and it's time to step it up. We've got a whole lot more of the Commonwealth we need to take over. So we got nice, close, and personal with Shank and asked to set up another job. I disappointed the disciples once again. Yeah, this place was empty. And I don't know if they're going to be too thrilled living in this swamp. To make it a little better on them, I did try and build them a nice place to live and supply them with all the essentials. Day 87, and I'm wasting no time going to conquer the next outpost. This time we had to do a little bit of traveling because we hadn't been there yet. But this outpost is a little bit more exciting than the swamp we visited last time. This is a beach outpost, Nordhagen Beach. I wanted to know exactly what would happen if I tried to talk my way into this place and not just kill everybody.
There's a gang of raiders coming for this place. Mine. But if you leave right now, I promise you, we won't have any problems.
Leave? Thanks, but no thanks.
Dude, I literally have knives as a helmet. Why wouldn't you just leave?
You stay here another minute and trust me, you're gonna regret it.
Christ, no need to do anything rash, all right?
Easy as hell. Now I own the beach. Get out of here, kid. Get out of here. Now, which gang gets this place? It was the Disciples. Yeah, they missed out on the fun once again. Sorry. I couldn't really be bothered building these guys a proper base, so I put down this prefab and they're just gonna have to live out of this. In some ways, it's probably better than what I could build anyway. Moving on, I wanted to explore around this area a little bit more. It was kind of interesting down the ways. We had discovered a place called Fort Strong. My homie, the Super Mutant Strong, might like this place. I don't know. Ironically, inside were some super mutants.
This still looks cleaner than me place back at the combat zone.
I do love Kate's one-liners. She can be funny at times. Anyways, we got some super mutants to deal with, including legendary super mutant Primus. What a name. I prefer to call him legendary super mutant Dead. Now, this is a very interesting legendary weapon for sure. It didn't take too much to take out all the super mutants here. There were a lot, but they were kind of quick and easy to take down. I've kind of noticed as we've gotten further along, stuff has gotten much easier, even in survival mode. I do have some pretty strong perks now that we've leveled up. And of course, I've upgraded all of my weapons and armor. So that probably makes a big difference as well. Day 88 and another settlement for us to take over. Another settlement that we've not visited at all in this 100 days. Before actually getting to go take over this place, we had to fight some ghouls. This legendary rotting feral ghoul was pretty rough, but it dropped a rather interesting item, the rad-powered pack stuffed chest piece. That's a tongue twister. One of our guys didn't make it. Apparently he was a veteran, but he went down to ghouls. What a pussy. Anyways, on to dominating Kingsport Lighthouse. This place was filled with those radiation fanatics, a child of Adam. These guys are like malnourished cult members. They're like crackheads that like to microwave their heads. Kind of weird, but they do have a rather lovely place here. I mean, they've got a boatyard here and a big long white shaft, a lighthouse, which held the creepiest thing of them all. They've been microwaving this guy a little bit longer than he probably should have been microwaved. I don't know if stabbing this thing is the right choice. I figured by now we would have learned that 6 feet of distance is the appropriate distance to keep safe. Again, since this is a place that I haven't really explored much, I went around the local area to have a look around. Then we heard a person in the distance fighting these Mirelurks. I went to go help him out. Then we met a gentleman named Barney.
And you get in here quick! I'm gonna let you in the bunker. Don't make me regret that.
I won't make you regret it, Barney. No, not at all. I find it really odd how trusting some people can be. Like, this old man is like, hey, come into my basement. Wait, maybe I'm the victim.
Son, did someone drop you on your head as a baby or...
I don't have time for this.
Old man tells you to come into his basement. I had to get the jump on him. Reba.
Bingo.
2. Day 89, we ended up at Diamond City. I wanted to see if this Reba 2 was worth anything. I hadn't really put too many perks into my bartering skills, so it wasn't really worth that much. But it was useless to us, and the caps are probably more useful to us. I also did a little bit more shopping whilst I was here, because this will be the last time we'll ever be able to come back to Diamond City. Why could that possibly be? Well, I'll tell you after I heal up. Well, it starts with me pickpocketing this Diamond City guard, and he caught me. Everyone was rather pissed off, but I'm the king of the Commonwealth, and I needed to send a message. The evil deed was done. So I had to go and ransack everywhere. I might as well, right? We're not welcome back here, obviously. We murdered almost everybody here, except Dr. Sun here couldn't die. Neither could this lady, Ellie Perkins. She's invincible. Oh, shit. You didn't go down easy. Stay down. Of course, we got to live out every patriotic crazy person's dream, permanently saying goodbye to a politician. But just like a repeating president, he's invincible. Of course, kids are off limits, and she's free to sell newspapers to, kind of nobody. This was also kind of awkward. Danny here, well, he's the guy that let us in to begin with. Danny boy. Danny boy. Getting all confident now, are ya? Starting to feel a little bit stupid now, are you, brother? I think we really started to stamp our name in the Commonwealth. Also, it's kind of fun to dress up your disciples. Like, this gangster's really starting to send some mixed messages. Day 90, we find ourselves back at Spectacle Island. We have a whole bunch of raiders that have moved in and require more beds. I thought there was going to be enough space here currently, but there just isn't. The beds are kind of expensive to make, so these mattresses are just going to have to do. With 10 days left in this challenge, we need to get to work real quick. We pick up the items from the tribute chest that just came through. Then I add a clinic to Hangman's Alley. The problem is, I find out later on, none of the raiders can cure your radiation or any of your ailments. Anyways, we've got work to do. Time to go take over yet another settlement. I feel like I've said that quite a bit in this 100 days, but I suppose it is the main goal of this 100 days. The disciples are gonna help us on this one. We're turning Grey Garden into a vassal settlement. This kind of hurt to do, but I had to take out my very own robot that I built. Automatron, I built you. This doesn't feel right. It's okay though. We're only turning this into a vassal settlement so they don't all have to die. With our main goal taking over the entire Commonwealth, all of the raider outposts are gonna need to be fed. That's why we need another vassal settlement that has lots of food already. The traveling around is taking up so much of our day, and we're already at day 90. That's why we can't waste any more time. We need to get back out to the Commonwealth and take over another raider outpost. The next target's going to be a fun one. Finch Farm is going down. And yes, this time we're turning them into a vassal settlement as well. They have lots of food there. It just makes sense. Of course, as soon as we fast travel to this location, we're attacked by the Forged. Now, I could stand here and fight, but I'm not really bothered. We've got other things to worry about. Time to take down the people at Finch Farm. I didn't get a chance to meet up with the raider gang that came here. Thankfully, they just started to join in on the fight anyway. Of course, Finch Farm hired some guns, so I had to bash them in the face with my gun. Usually, I'd feel kind of guilty about this, but these guys, well, they kind of mess up a lot. Papa Finch here isn't really a good father. Timmy Sins isn't a really good person either, so this kind of is a good match. Now we have another farm to supply all of our raider outposts. Next, I went over to Country Crossing. I plan on eventually turning this into a vassal settlement as well, so I wanted to plant some more crops here. This place is building up quite nicely. We have quite a few settlers here and a whole lot of crops, but we'll have to wait for this place to build up a little bit more before we take it over. And to let it fatten up a little bit, we went out to do some more exploring around the local area. We do this a lot. It just is a great way to get some more resources, and I like exploring. We found a little suburban area that was filled with super mutants. This is kind of like super mutant version of Sanctuary. As I was running through looting up some of these enemies, this happened. Whoa. Unfortunately for Hammer, he's not very strong, and our assault rifle is just too damn good. I don't know if it's a thing, but something that I've observed in this 100 days is the fact that most super mutant camps have a lot of junk items that I can collect, which are great resources for me to be able to build up my outposts. Speaking of which, we need to go take over another one. Yeah, we're going back to Country Crossing already. I realized the time, and yeah, we need to get to work. Just like all the other settlements that we've taken over, this was just another textbook attack. My squad came in hard, and now these guys have to supply us more resources, proving that I am the dominant raider of the Commonwealth. Day 92, and we've almost taken over the entire Commonwealth, but there's still a few places left that we need to conquer. I'm sorry, Abernathy family, but we're coming for you. Now, if you remember the story of the Abernathy family, our raider group coming in to murder all of them is kind of messed up. The daughter of the Abernathy family was murdered by raiders. Kind of ironic that the entire family is going down by raiders as well. Even the hot mama needs to go down. Poor Connie. Abernathy Farm could have made a really good vassal settlement, but because I annoyed Blake Abernathy earlier in this 100 days, we couldn't ally, so I never got the opportunity to increase the amount of food that was produced here. I've run into a slight problem. I can't take over Sanctuary as a raider because there's some main story people here that I can't move anywhere. Like the crackhead old lady, I need her to move, but she won't. Instead, she asked me to build her a chair. I figured this might help her move, so I made a chair for her, but apparently that was the wrong one. I went to speak to Preston Garvey, but he was rather annoyed at me. But all I cared about was him to get his ass out of here so I could take over Sanctuary. I couldn't figure it out, and it's already day 93, so it's time to take over another settlement. We only have like 3 remaining. We're gonna go take over Coastal Cottage. Yeah, another one that we've never visited before. Of course, this is Fallout 4. It's never gonna be that simple. Yes, we ran into an Enclave patrol on the way there. They must have a whole bunch of these outposts spread out over the Commonwealth. Unfortunately for these guys, I brought my raiders with me this time. Psych, I got directly hit and I went down. Now the Eastern Enclave encampment's been taken down, I'm gonna loot all their stuff. They're not gonna need it. They're dead. Anyways, I went to go speak to Mr. Elephant Head here so he could begin this mission to take over Coastal Cottage. There was already some raiders here, so we had to move them out. We're better raiders anyway. We managed to move them out, but they were living with some Mirelurks. How they lived peacefully here together, I don't know. It was a pretty underwhelming fight. It was over in literally seconds. But I guess it is what it is when you're the big badass Overboss raider. Of course, we haven't explored this local area, and it's kind of what we do now. I heard gunshots going on over at this factory, so I wanted to go check it out, only to find out a Mirelurk queen was getting taken down by these operators. My overconfidence got the best of me once again. These operators got their revenge. We can turn back time though and redo this all over again. Imagine if I could do that in real life. It'd be great, wouldn't it? This time round, I didn't get myself stuck on the bridge. I made sure to keep my distance as well and draw these guys back to my raiders. Sometimes you just gotta use your brain in this game. Except sometimes you gotta get the good old knife out and stabby time. We now find ourselves in Mishkra fish packing, and all these raiders right here was not my doing. I was very curious to see what took out those raiders, and I think we found the answer. It was probably these synths. Stupid, annoying, aggressive robots. I don't even know what their deal is with me, but we did find a really good place for aluminium, and aluminium is kind of rare. Kinda. But now we found the mother lode and we can use this for our raider outposts. I don't think the synths were too happy about us taking all this aluminium. Pretty sure that they were going to turn them into their brothers and sisters. They were even waiting for me outside. Like, bro, are these trays really that important to you? Day 94, we took a good hard look at all the perks that we had unlocked. For the people that are interested, you could probably have a look through now, pause it or whatever. And I think this has a lot to do with our success in the later game of this video. Like, this one rifleman perk really ups our damage when we're using rifles, which is my favorite weapon in this game. Speaking of which, we're on the home stretch of this 100 days. So we need to finish this off strong by having the most powerful weapon that I could possibly make. Of course, same with our armor as well. I changed out to some synth chest piece, and honestly, I think it looks kind of ugly. Like, what the F is that? Doesn't matter though, the stats are pretty decent on it. Oh, and obviously, we're on to go capture 10 Pines Bluff. Outpost Simonja was the closest fast travel point, so we went there to go meet up with the disciples. This settlement wasn't very tough. There wasn't many people here anyway, and they only hired some very weak hired guns, and it didn't take us very much to lock this place down. Day 95, and time is ticking. We have so many more of these outposts that we need to take over. The first place we take over today is the Red Rock truck stop. You know, the one right next to Sanctuary? Of course, this place was empty, so there was no trouble taking this over. I was already in the area, so I went back to Sanctuary to try and move out these people again. I found the right chair for Mama Murphy. She's a picky bitch, but we got the one that she wanted in the end. Was this enough to help her move out? No, it wasn't. She wanted some drugs. And with Kate standing behind her and her history, I didn't want to give her drugs right now. I then rung the bell so all the settlers can come over to where I am, and then all the important characters here, I could move over to the Mechanist lair. I can't capture that place as a raider outpost anyway, so it's a nice safe place for them to go and live out their peaceful existence. This is super random, but I returned to Nuka World. I wanted to try something out. Kinda super random, but yeah, I basically stripped Nisha naked. She didn't seem to mind though. That wasn't the only reason why we're here. I also came here to pick up some stuff from the Overboss's trunk. Or 7,000 bottle caps? Let's go. Yeah, my raiders have been getting busy collecting some bottle caps for us. Also, I put Nish's helmet on top of Kate. Hey, you're looking pretty good, bruh. Day 96, we're taking over another settlement, and this time Chromet is helping me out. I mean the pack. This settlement we're taking over is Green Top Nursery. We took out everyone here rather quickly again because we're just super overpowered. Oh yeah, this place is going to be a vassal settlement. There's only 2 remaining settlements we need to take over. Somerville Place and Sanctuary. But there's an issue. They're both blacked out. I can't actually do anything about them. Day 97, I returned back to Sanctuary to see if I could find a solution so I could actually take this place over as a raider outpost. I know I need to move some of the main story characters out of here. Or do I murder them? Some of them might be possible, but I know Preston Garvey, it does not work. So I went to go to speak to Preston Garvey one more time. See if we can come to some sort of arrangement.
You're making it damn hard for me to believe you're someone I should trust. You could start by proving you're on the right side. Wipe out those raiders instead of helping them.
This moment played on my mind quite a bit. Have we been doing the right thing this entire time? Are we really a Raider Overboss so damn evil? Maybe Preston was right.
Okay, I will. I'll wipe them out.
I hope those are more than just words.
So this is how we end up. Shades of blue and gray. I feel just like an empty bottle. My dreams are on delay. I just wanna climb on top of a hill and throw it all away, away.
Boss, I can't believe it. You killed the raiders, all of them. I have to ask, why?
Not sure, really.
Just ride all the way to the rainbow's end. Just ride, and we'll never turn our backs again.
Things are tough now, but they'll get better. What do you say? Will you be the leader that the Commonwealth needs?
Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I do hope you liked the little twist we added in the end there. I hope you enjoyed this video enough that I earned that little click down there, the like and subscribe button. And go ahead and click one of these too. Like, you know, go watch another video, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. You'll enjoy it, trust me.